Hey, let's start the show.
It's CES Day 3. Welcome to This Is Only a Test, the official podcast of Tested.com. I'm Will Smith. Joining me today, as always, on this, the final day of our CES podcast marathon. The final day of CES. We're getting in the van or the airplane or the van and driving back to San Francisco tomorrow. I could not express how excited I am that that's happening. Norman Chan, how you doing?
Great.
Are you excited to get in the van tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
5 a.m.?
It's no problem. That
Van
means I
ride.
get back. I have an entire Friday evening for myself.
Yeah. Play a little
weekend.
game. Just chill. You can
Hang out
put
for
on
some
some
Battlefield.
sweatpants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to install Karkin. Gary, what are you here? You're wearing a t-shirt that is very boring.
We were not talking about
I
this.
refuse to acknowledge that comment.
Oh, is this part of the new post 100? The new 100?
Yeah, absolutely.
The new 100
We're in a new
rules.
era.
Already. It's also January 12th.
I did not say it was January 12th. I said it was CS Day 3. But
I
yes,
know.
it is January
I was
12th.
acknowledging this.
It is. Yeah, we're almost 2 weeks into the new year. Does it feel like we live in the future yet?
It always.
Oh
feels like we
yeah.
live in the
After
future.
this week,
Yeah.
yes.
We saw
We
crazy-
saw a clearer vision of what the future could be.
Okay, so now I feel like we've covered North Hall, all the iCrap and the
talked
car
about that
audio.
stuff yesterday.
Talked about that yesterday. Central Hall, where all the big boys are, for the most part. I mean, there's some big guys in South Hall as well. And then both levels of South Hall today, where we saw some old friends. We saw a lot of really good stuff.
Full coverage is
Total coverage. Yeah. I think for I mean, I'm gonna get. Usually I do this at the end, but I mean, I think total coverage happened here this year at CES. We have produced an unbelievable amount of video. The video team, Joey, Matt, and Joey, Drew, and Thomas are really kicking ass. Matt and Wes did
Field
a
reporters.
fantastic job on the
Field
floor
team.
for us. Field team, yeah. A lot of good blog posts about stuff that wouldn't have made good video. And then they also, on top of that, found awesome stuff to go and shoot video of. And we saw them at Showstoppers and some of the other video stuff as well. A+ guys and helping on the podcast every night has been great.
Wow.
Too. And Gary,
You graded them
what?
like a teacher.
I didn't mean to do. I know they've been awesome. They made this whole without those dudes.
I acknowledge that.
Yeah, literally, no way we could have done as much as we did. I mean, A++, excellent job all around. Thank you guys so much. And of course,
would hire again.
Norman Chan, always a pleasure to work with you
Yes.
at CES every year. I mean, this is a war zone.
The feeling is mutual.
And I'm so glad that we had Gary to hold down the blackjack tables this whole week.
I'm very happy to have taken up space in the van.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. You provided entertainment, comic relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not all work.
No,
You can't come to Vegas and have it just be all about work.
No.
And in fact, I can't come to Vegas and have any of it be about work.
The way it works is you did all the playing for all of us so we could focus on work.
Well, to be fair, we did do a little playing last night.
That's true.
The five of us, Wes, Matt, or not, I'm sorry, Wes went to bed.
Wes was smart.
Matt, Joey, Thomas, and Drew and I, we scouted the strip. It was the first time I actually
I'm glad
stepped
you
outside.
actually finally got the chance to go out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And we walked around, went to the Paris, and then...
Thanks for calling me, by the way.
Well, you were at fancy
You were
parties.
high rolling, man.
You had like 3 wristbands on you and stamps. Up
We
the
heard you
ass
got
and-
in sitting trouble at IGN.
But you know what? Those parties actually sucked. Well, one of them did.
You
and
abandoned
and
us.
if you had
Don't twist the story.
Had you had texted me and said,
Yeah.
hey, the tested,
okay.
I would have loved to have had a night out with you tested crew guys.
When I say a night out, let me clarify, because you would not have had fun.
No?
We went to Buffalo Bill's.
That sounds like my kind of place.
No, it's not. It's one of the old...
it puts the lotion on the skin
You
or
know
else
how
it
you know
gets
the
hose
Flamingo
again?
is one of the older...
I love that. I love
casinos
old
in the
school
strips?
Vegas.
It's the subset of the Flamingo.
I love
around
it.
the corner from there.
I love those.
And we
Why
played
did you end up there?
Because we wanted to find a low
Learner's
entry,
tables.
low
yeah.
minimum blackjack table to teach the guys how to play blackjack.
I mean, that's the problem. If you're at the Aria or Venetian or whatever, you can't get a
Exactly.
table less than $50.
No, there's none.
And we
Yeah,
wanted
not at all.
$5.
You got to
in
go.
there.
Actually, the place that I would have, if I'd have known you were looking to roll low ball,
Yeah.
kind of like old school Vegas
Slumming.
style, A place that I've heard recommended more than once is Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville Casino.
Interesting.
Apparently, that's the place.
You know, the only problem with that is they probably exclusively play Jimmy Buffett music in there.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, there's only so much Cheeseburger in Paradise one can hear.
So I heard Braga nearly doubled his bankroll.
Yeah, so we actually found an entire empty table. It was awesome.
Oh, so you could like just have you
all
have
five
the
of
table
us.
be all of you. That's perfect.
Yeah, and we stayed there for I think an hour,
Yeah.
teaching guys blackjack, getting a couple drinks. It's really fun to see people who've never gambled before learn the ropes of like, oh, how much does that drink cost? Dude,
it's free.
It's complimentary. You just tip. How do you tip? And then this
Wow.
whole process.
Did you feel like were you in the Obi-Wan the mentor role?
Oh, it felt really good. Yeah.
Wow.
I wish I could have been there.
Exactly. We spoiled Braga for life.
If
you
Braga
want a little bit of money.
Braga, were you intimidated at first, or did you get into the groove quickly? How did it go?
When everyone sat down, I sat out for about 3 or 4 hands, and then I jumped in because I figured, what the hell, it was $5 tip.
You can't stand around
Yeah.
and watch.
What was it, 5 a hand?
It was 5 a hand.
Okay.
The minimum was 5 a hand, but then Braga starts paying 10 a hand. And
Yeah,
then
you see, once you get a taste.
Yeah.
Once you get a
Yeah.
taste.
Remember one point, it was only, I don't know, it wasn't that many hands in, but I ended up putting in 15, and Norm kind of looked at me and
I'm like, oh, kid,
yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah, but no, it worked out for the best though.
One of the
So.
things you learn about blackjack pretty quickly is you can't make anything happen by playing the table minimum. You
No.
gotta go in a bit stronger.
Well, if you just play by the book, and your best odds of are going to be still under 50%. The way you can win is yes by luck, but also by how you double down, and by varying your bet. It's subconsciously counting whatever.
Wow, but you're a big winner. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Any
I
blackjacks?
was really happy.
He got a
Any
lot of
blackjacks?
blackjacks.
Yep, yeah.
Plenty of blackjacks on this kid, and then Thomas over there hit 21 on like 15 and 16. Unbelievable.
Those are tough to
times.
do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any good splits and doubles?
I was just going to say is that's how we ended the night was triple split. Yeah, it was fantastic. It
He
was triple
Those are always
split sixes.
when you split them and hit on all of them, it's so satisfying.
It was
And
like
we
the
did.
8K
I
whale
That's great.
story.
That's great.
Except a total maybe $30 as opposed to $18,000.
You know what though? The
one
scale,
day.
the scale doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just as
All
satisfying
relevant.
to win. That's good.
It was
good.
it was a lot of fun.
It's fine. I mean, I said to the guys, you know what? That pays for the amazing massage I'm going to get tomorrow. So it's going to be the best part of my week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to use the thing downstairs in the mall area where they've got the guys that do it right there in the mall?
No,
Or are you gonna?
I might go somewhere.
I
Nice.
think you should. Well,
Yeah.
the spa here is very good.
Okay.
In the PH or the PH shower?
In the well, it's only in the PH.
Okay.
So that's where I went the first day. Actually, was rated the best spa by Spa Finder magazine.
Okay, you go anywhere in Vegas and they'll have some type of like voted best in Vegas by some
Yes.
Best Buffet
website.
by Vegas Buffet
Exactly.
magazine.
Well, this was very good.
Voted Best Seafood Buffet by Vegas Seafood Buffet magazine.
Yep.
There was a treatment that I got where they basically brush your entire body
scrub.
with a stiff brush.
Yeah.
And it's very exfoliating.
So the first time I went to a spa and they had that, you go into the room, the guy's like, okay, here's a place to hang your robe, and it was, it's a naked spa. It's not. There's 2 types of spas. There's like North American spas where there's a bunch of Texans with cigars and hats and swimming trunks on.
Yeah.
Then there's your European style spa where it's just a bunch of naked guys walking around with towels over their shoulders.
Yeah.
and
Well, the ones here are
dicks
more
everywhere.
European.
Towels, they have the towels.
It's over
they
their
just
shoulder.
will not use them.
Well, and the thing about the towel is always too small for the wrap. Right?
The ones here are more European style.
Yeah, they're all European. Everyone I've been to in Vegas is European style.
Yeah.
So when you go into the scrub room and you're sitting there and there's like, it's you in this big giant room that's full of tiles, and then a kind of big burly guy comes in and there's a washcloth that's about 3 inches on a side.
it's a pocket square.
It's a pocket square, exactly. And that's
It's like the beginning of Red Heat.
it is exactly like the beginning of Red Heat.
Does he make you grasp a hot stone? In
No,
your hand?
no, none of that. But so like you lay down on the back on the stomach at first, you're like, okay, this is good. It's just ass. Anyway, I'll let you imagine but it's a loofah. And then there's
Wait,
like
hold on.
two
You had a male masseuse?
No, in the scrub.
Request,
Oh.
In the scrub treatments I've always had have always been in the spa area where it's dudes.
Oh no, my scrub treatment was like part of the massage.
Oh,
It was a scrub, and then a thing where they did like all kinds of oils, scrubbed you with oils.
Oh,
and then there was a Swedish massage.
Interesting.
And then my personal favorite that I always add on is there was a scalp massage. That's the most,
scalp massage is
most
nice.
refreshing.
I like the thing when you're laying on your back and they get up under you and like use the weight of your neck and head and fingers up underneath the neck.
How do you feel about the new age
I hate
bamboo
that
type
shit.
music they always play in the background?
The worst thing is when somebody comes in and they want to talk about aligning your chakras and releasing your chi and all that bullshit. I just want to be rubbed.
Meme.
So
that could be a new world record.
There were two things I think you said today that
we're not mentioning them.
I feel like you led into that one, Will. Like you kind of knew it was.
I knew as soon as I said
it.
it.
Shy away from
as soon as I said it, I was
I'm
like,
glad that you're finally embracing it.
I gotta own that.
I said if we ever had a tested app, like there would have to be a
just
really
automatically.
big red button
Yeah.
that you could quick click to the generator.
Well, you know what would be
type it in.
great would be like use Siri technology to just instantly auto-generate them the moment
Siri.
you say them.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Just always listening, and you hit the button, and it just takes what I said in the last 8 seconds to blast straight up. So today was kind of Future Tech Day, I think. Don't you think?
Isn't that what CES is?
No. Sometimes CES
CES.
is shit you're about to buy.
Or was this more out there?
This was
kind of
more
stuff?
out there.
All
This
right.
was there was a lot of out there stuff. But update. I want to update a couple things we talked about earlier in this week first.
Okay.
Drew and Norm and I went to listen to the $1,500 Sennheiser headphones
Yes.
that are attached to a crazy, crazy expensive super audio CD player.
Now I was
with
skeptical.
A
because-
massive headphone amp.
Right.
And
I-
Norm
I-
has a pair of...
Right. I have a pair of like $300 headphones that I'm very happy with.
Right, they sound
and
great.
They sound very clear. And I was skeptical of $1,500 home stereo headphones, largely because I haven't had much experience with the amp system, right? And also, I made this comment that I would want to use maybe the headphones that professionals use to record music,
Right?
And that would justify the expense. And these indeed sounded amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's hard to paint a word picture because it's sound, but it is literally, it's you sound like you're... If you've ever been to a performance hall with incredible acoustics, like Carnegie Hall or one of the
curved
big
glass and
clamshells
ceilings,
where
right.
everything's acoustically perfect.
The whole building is designed
Exactly.
to create the best acoustic environment.
That's not very descriptive of what the sound
right.
sounds
So
like. Though.
it sounds like when you're sitting in the perfect seat.
So
in
it just sounds
in that
perfect.
hall.
Right.
And-
What does that sound like?
But it also, it doesn't sound like the sound is coming from around your ears. It sounds like the sound is coming from about 30 feet and surrounding you on all sides.
Yes.
Basically, after listening to this, I totally understand why the Head-Fi guys have a total boner for expensive headphones.
I must say, as much as I'm very proud of myself for not working this week and not going, I go, oh, you're at CS and I'm having fun. I'm actually quite jealous of some of the things that you guys, like the 8K TV and these amazing headphones.
Yeah.
I would like to have tried those.
Yeah, so the headphones also didn't just plug into any normal iPhone.
Yeah, they're 300 ohm impedance headphones or more.
So if you did plug it into a standard source, you would not get
Not much sound.
Yeah, exactly.
It's-
you had to come from an amp. Also, it wasn't like a regular CD.
It was a
like,
super audio CD, which is one of those moribund, high-quality audiophile-only audio formats that when everybody else decided, hey, we'd rather have a shitload of songs than 10 that sound good.
But to be descriptive,
Yeah.
I have headphones that are good, that are great, and they are very crisp, and they sound is very clear, but you don't get the sense of space.
Yeah.
You don't get the sense that the sound is coming from anywhere, but either inside your head,
Or
if they're
just
like
outside.
on your headphones, or on your ear.
Right.
These didn't sound like the sound was being from on your ear. They sounded like they were being emitted from spaces around you.
It sounded like this...
appropriately, without any crappy computation to trick that.
It literally, it sounded like you were ensconced in sound.
Well,
Like
but
you
are-
could be
but are they
lifted
worth-
up
but
by
are
it.
they worth the money? Would you actually consider spending that money for an experience?
Well, no,
of
I
that
mean, they're not
quality?
for us.
Oh, they're not?
They're for
And-
dudes for whom $1,500 to $2,000.
They're the HD.
They're for your whale.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
definitely. But my question is, what's the difference? Like, would I be able to tell the difference between that, like their HD 800s and the HD 700s, which are like maybe I don't know, like $1,200 as opposed to $1,500.
Yeah.
They're still $1,000.
Those still
plus
sounded very
headphones.
good.
They're still gonna sound great, but at that level, I don't know if I would be able to hear the difference.
Well, so the thing, I was talking to the Sennheiser guy while you and Drew were inside listening to the headphones, and like the first time I put them on, they always demo Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon for this because it's a good album for that kind of thing. There's a really nice super audio CD master of it, and it's an album that many people are very familiar with. It's very evocative, and I almost it's like you get a little misty eyed when you hear it. It's like, oh god damn, this sounds unfucking believable. So I was talking to the guy outside while you guys were in listening, and he, basically he said, here's the thing. If you're an audiophile and you have like a big house and you have a room you can dedicate to this and a bunch of money, then you can spend $10,000 on speakers and equipment and another 15 or 20 making the room right and get the same effect in a room where multiple people can listen to it. Or for $3 or $4 grand, you can do it with headphones and just sit quietly by yourself and enjoy a lovely...
so if you can't
I
afford
feel like
the home theater with the $25,000 projector,
Or don't have a room that
or
would
in
work,
space, okay.
it is expensive, you're right, but I feel like, for people like us, and I just mean like people that enjoy,
life.
Just good, the good, sucking the marrow out of life as much as we can. Like good music. Like life is too short to listen to bad
Apple earbuds.
Yeah, bad versions of music.
Yeah.
Like now that you've even said this, like I don't know if I can go back and listen to like Dark Side of the Moon in my shitty car stereo because I know that I'm listening to some shitty throttled version of it. I'm never going to have your experience.
You can still enjoy it.
You can, but not like you can't. You're not enjoying the true, like, oh, I get it now type version of.
But you've never heard them.
Like.
If you heard, if
if
it was taken away from you, like the $1,500.
I know, but I know that it's out there.
Well, it's just the 8K TVs. I know the 8K TV is out there.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to feel like I would take a 4K TV right now, no problem.
Yeah, me too.
Right? I'm gonna go out and smash my TV with a ball peen hammer. I don't want to look.
Are we going to go at the end of the show? We're going to talk about our picks, like.
That's the exciting conclusion. Okay, we have a lot of stuff to get to, so I'm going to go fast. Sphero robots. We tested those out this morning. They're
the
plastic
remote
balls.
control thing that rolls around.
Yeah, it's a little white ball. It's made of plastic. There's a motor inside. There are lights inside.
Robot inside. It's not a motor.
Robot hamster inside or something.
Yes.
You can uses Bluetooth, and there are apps that you can play games with it. You can
Norm and I
drive
raced.
around. We raced.
Norm's very competitive,
Sure. I think that at $130, I did not think they would be worth it.
Norm, do your glasses have lenses in them?
They do not have lenses in them. They're also not my glasses.
I don't know what to say.
Would you care to explain?
I'm going to commend Vizio, and I actually did not get to see Vizio today.
Because can I just say before you explain yourself, I think the reason why Will feels the need to point this out is if there were like a penal code for hipster crimes, this would be a capital punishment crime.
Right.
Walking around in hipster glasses that don't even have frames.
I'm going to say,
don't even have lenses.
Regardless of the quality of Vizio TVs, and they are a decent TV manufacturer.
Do you have an Ed Hardy shirt on underneath there?
I don't. No.
Just wondering.
There's no just patterns or dragon tattoos or any of that shit.
It seems like the kind of thing that somebody with an Ed Hardy t-shirt on would do.
God, you see so much Ed Hardy in this town. You notice that?
Yeah.
I got a story to tell you later.
All right, I want to hear that. Vizio makes 3D glasses, passive 3D glasses that actually look like glasses, real glasses, as opposed to, like the Panasonic ones, which are clearly, these are 3D glasses.
Right.
So this is actually Matt Braga's, he and Wes took a meeting with Vizio today.
Yeah.
He brought these back, and I told him to pop the lenses out so I could wear them on the show, because I thought they actually look like glasses I own.
Right, why don't you just wear the glasses you own?
Yeah, you have glasses that you own that look just like that.
And enjoy the benefits of increased vision into the bargain.
I have no answer for you.
I'm so disappointed in you, Norm.
It's not as ironic, even though it's not even the right use of ironic. I'll take them off.
No, keep wearing them. They're punishment glasses now.
Yes, keep them on. Own your decision.
Okay, so Sphero, pretty cool. We race.
Okay.
Norm doesn't like it. I think it's rad.
I think the concept of a ball that you can control remotely with your iPhone, whether it's to annoy your dog or to play some games, I think the concept is both cool. I think the execution, after playing with it, it is cool. Technology is cool. But the execution, I think, is not perfect and not what I had in mind. If someone told me, for $130, here's a robotic little ball that you can control with your phone.
Yes.
I would imagine much finer control than what I got.
So what your concern is that you weren't able to control the balls effectively.
Not very precise. They were
I was able to precisely control the balls.
Yes, around a very circular track. I went over
jumps. I weaved in and out of obstacles.
Even using
your control, your ball.
Even using, I'm not going to recommend this product after using it for.
Sounds like a bit of a novelty product.
It is a novelty product.
Absolutely a novelty product.
Think of how much fun Huey doesn't like chasing balls.
No, he's not really
Chloe's
a
chasing balls
kind of dog.
We can make Chloe run in circles
totally
for
hours.
Yeah.
Perfect for that.
She's going to lose her shit or destroy it.
If you think that's worth $130,
yes.
Okay, then it is worth it.
Making the dog crazy, totally worth $130.
I would not spend $130 to drive the Sphero around for a day and then rarely use it again.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like the lifespan of this product.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough. I mean, a lot of robots
I had
like
everything.
It's like the Faraday R drone, which has been in our closet for a year
Exactly,
now.
right? Great for a week of flying around.
Yeah.
And this actually controls better than the Faraday R drone
Much
because that
better.
was wild and
2D also.
And also, and a different learning curve. And this is total, like, show off to your friends. Look at this, I can control this robotic ball thing. And I would say maybe the half an hour, 15 minutes of control time I had with it today wasn't necessarily enough. I would want maybe a full day with that, but I could not see myself using this for more than a week on a consistent basis. And so $100.
Okay, well, move on.
Okay.
We saw the Polaroid Android camera. I agree with you on this completely.
Yeah. Yesterday, it was reported, we had a news story about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's something interesting. We might want to shoot a video about this, right? It's a Polaroid camera.
Booth, first thing.
Right, running
Android. As in an instant.
No. It's a digital camera. So they also it's
I thought for some reason when you say Polaroid, I just think of the camera that instantly spits out.
Exactly. They're kind of not in that business anymore.
Okay.
They made a novelty one. I took a picture of myself with a Polaroid.
They do have novelty ones. They have like their inkless paper printers. This is a digital camera, 16 megapixel digital camera, but runs Android, and for some reason it needs to have email, and so it's basically a.
Well, here's the thing: you can put a 3G card in it if you want to pay for data, and then you can upload directly from the camera to the internet from anywhere. This 3G.
So
and which I kind of feel like that's where these dedicated cameras have to go, because as we've said before, the reason why smartphones are eating into that market so much is that being able to put the picture up right away, that instant gratification that's very cool.
Getting your photos to your friends.
That's a good point, because the thing is, this is the direction that the whole point and shoot market should go. The execution seemed really bad. Now, it's difficult to say whether because they were floor models and they had the shit beaten out of them for 2 days before we got to them.
Right.
But it wasn't very good. And also, they were out of paper, so we couldn't print the photos that we took.
Why does it need Android for what seems to be like a very simple thing?
It doesn't. I think they didn't want to program. They wanted this feature of having being able to upload and sync, and like tie to social networks and all that crazy stuff. And they didn't want to develop their own memory card like Toshiba's doing, like with the iFi stuff.
Yeah.
And so Android is open, it's available. People like talking about Android.
And the thing is, developers can write apps that build theoretically.
You want an app for your camera?
The camera. I don't know. Maybe.
Does Polaroid need a Polaroid camera app store?
So you could.
I don't even know. I think it's just an Android app, just like anything else in the Android.
So you could have. So this camera could theoretically
imagine
run
a world.
Instagram or something.
Yeah.
So, but why not just get a nice why not just have a nice, really nice lens on a iPod Touch like device, like the Sony Walkman Z, and have a really nice 8 to 12 megapixel camera.
Well, that sounds kind of like what this thing wants to be.
But it's going the other way around. It's saying it's a camera first with a crappy Android interface.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not saying crappy in the sense that all Android's crappy. I'm saying this particular interface was Android and also crappy.
Yeah,
that's what I kind of feel like is missing from the iPod Touch, is because the camera is nowhere near as good as the one in the iPhone. Well, if they actually beefed up the camera, which I'm sure they'll get around to, if they actually really beefed up the camera, that device would be much more. The iPod Touch would be much more compelling than.
And you know what? That's actually
iPod Touch camera.
This is a light bulb moment. I can see like roadmaps future down the line. Apple is not going to get into like the professional camera business. It's not going to sell, point and shoots.
Right.
They've said as much that their camera phones, right? The iPhone and the iPod Touch are kind of killing point and shoots, like in terms of quantity of photos uploaded to Flickr.
Yeah.
Why not just beef up, make that the next big, massive iPod Touch?
No, I think you're right. I think we talk about smartphones being
charge a premium for that
to point and shoots all the time.
You have the iOS app market and everything, right?
Yeah.
I think it's less the phone because you've got to remember phones are still on contract.
It's brilliant.
But an iPod Touch, you just walk into a store and buy one.
The other thing you could do is take your camera and that little USB or SD card adapter they sell for iPad and iPhone and plug that into your iPhone and upload the pictures straight from there.
Yeah, but that's actually the whole action of taking an SD card out of the real camera.
There needs to be a wireless way to do it.
That is a big hurdle for.
Do you think that there's room for, whether it be Apple or another company? Like, use Apple as an example because they have these devices. They've got the iPhone and the iPod Touch. That you could that there would be some way. You know how they sell like the iPad with 3G. You can't use it as a phone. That there could be an iPod Touch 3G that's just for data. So you can have the satisfaction of doing Instagram wherever you want.
The carriers won't allow it.
Well, why not?
Because the carriers are dicks. Because they can.
But the
iPad does it.
That's true. But
that'd get really confusing. At that point, you buy an iPad.
No, I don't think so. It's like a middle. It's like a middle of the road.
In order for the 3G to work, you need a fairly significant battery because the 3G radio is the thing that sucks the battery in the iPhone.
Yeah.
And fundamentally, the only difference between the iPhone, which is thick, and the iPod Touch, which is very thin, is that it needs a much bigger.
But you
battery.
wouldn't be making calls or doing any of the other.
Yeah, but the calls aren't the battery drain. It's just an always-on data connection. It's the hog over 3G. Let's go on down the list because we have a ton of stuff to get to. We saw the EPON gaming table, a tablet.
Oh, the pictures of that look great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So Wes has written about this a couple times, and he actually did a hands-on with it earlier, but we had to shoot video of it today. I had seen it in person. We've described it at length before. The prototype is 23 inches, but they will sell a 26-inch model by the end of the year, hopefully. It's not a touch screen. What it is a LCD screen with sensors, RFID type technology that recognize objects that, whether it's a paddle for ice hockey or a chess piece or some type of Skylanders-like piece that stores information, and it'll recognize where it is on the screen when it's sitting on the screen, and also its orientation, and so you can basically play a fancy D&D style game with real physical pieces.
So this is phenomenally cool technology, especially for somebody like me and you and Gary, who like playing board games.
Yeah, all of us like playing board games.
I'd like them a lot more if they were like this.
Yeah, if the digital thing could keep track of all the scary math that goes along with this, it'd make it much easier.
Well, that is amazing, because when we play Dominion or whatever game, like constantly having to do all the math is a hassle. So now, is it a universal table that can run any kind of game?
Well, so this is the gotcha.
Games?
This is just the table. With the screen, it plugs into like an iPhone. And it's just an app that's on the iPhone, the game.
So this is an early prototype. This one's 23 inches. The one that they're actually going to ship is 26 inches. It'll be around $400, I think.
Yep.
And they're working with developers now. They have an SDK, and they're going out. They said that they've ported some touch games that already are designed for touch interfaces, like
but it has that kind of Skylanders type thing.
Exactly.
You can put physical pieces on the board.
Someone
and a circle comes up around it.
Needs to call them up right now and work on, this is Skylanders 3.0. You have your Xbox, your PC,
or more likely, just
and
sue
the
them.
real world.
Different technology.
No, it's
nothing to sue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing to sue. The demo was much better than I was expecting. The response time was a little bit slow. When we were playing air hockey, you really couldn't move the hockey paddle very fast.
Right. When you're playing air hockey, you're moving really
It's not a good demo
aggressively.
for that. This is for thinky games. This is for D&D and Catan and Carcassonne and all that kind of. Imagine playing Carcassonne where maybe you're not even seeing the screen really. You just have the tiles. And on the edge of the board, there's the remaining tiles, the ones that haven't been used yet. It recognizes each tile as you place it down.
Oh my gosh! There's no pieces to lose or any of this.
And there's no, if you've played Carcassonne with the tiles, you know that those games always end with massive arguments about how much each piece scores and that whole thing. It's a big hassle.
To have all that housekeeping done for you is tremendous.
It's very exciting.
It looks like sound hardware, and of course, like Will said, it's all about the software.
I'm actually pretty excited about that.
So we saw some other I think that feels like something from the future. We saw something that felt very, very from the future today. You're familiar with Kleenex tissues, Gary?
Yes.
Yes,
I've had a runny nose in the past.
Right, they're very, very delicate, soft. Would you describe them as water resistant or waterproof?
Tissues?
Tissues.
No.
Okay.
They get very destroyed by water very quickly.
And water absorbent.
We saw a company called Liquipel today, who make a waterproof coating for phones. It's a nano coating. It's applied in a special way with some dry powder, vapors. They weren't getting into specifics.
We're talking about when they say nano coating. So they have nano material that's 100 times thinner than hair,
and applied in a very specific way.
Dry application vapor. So it's not like spraying a mist over your phone.
Right.
But it actually, when you put it on a phone, then it pervades all the areas of the phone to make the whole thing water resistant, waterproof.
So it creates a seal.
So it's like Scotch Guard, but super duper.
But and extremely thin, and it's not conductive.
Now, how is it? Can I drop it in the bathtub and it'd be okay?
All of their demos had like iPhones, other phones, working. Just
fully immersed.
Yes, immersed in water. So when Adam Boyce talked about like the crappy pouches with the bags of water,
those guys are completely fucked.
Because this is real
completely fucked
technology. The phone is actually submerged and running when it's in water.
But what about like the dock connection and stuff? How is it doing that?
It's small enough connection that physical connectors will penetrate and then reseal.
So when you dock connect, you can still
pass
like
electricity. Crisis armor or something. Nano armor. It's like
waterproof activate. Right? And you know what? Will talks about. He asked you about the tissue in the beginning because the demo they showed, they had tissue paper that had this nano material applied to it.
And it protected even the tissue paper.
So
he put his piece of tissue paper in,
submerged
it First of all, when he put it on the water, it wouldn't even.
It made a hole.
Yeah,
it was like a boat.
And then he put it in the water and pulled it out, and it's completely dry.
I almost feel like you're pulling my leg. This is so from the future.
We shit you not. It is in the wrap video. We forgot to talk about it, but it'll be in the montage. Literally, of all the things that I saw that I couldn't believe at CES this year, I mean, it was probably
it looked like a magic trick.
Yeah, it looked like a magic trick.
And this is this way out there, or is this something that's going to be coming soon?
It seems closer. I mean, they applied it to iPhones. There was an iPhone with water pouring over it nonstop, and like a.
And does it affect the aesthetic of the device?
Looks exactly. Couldn't
so
tell the difference.
It doesn't affect the look of it that I could tell because obviously the phones were in water. So I don't know if it was less shiny, but it definitely affected the haptic. So it felt different.
Oh, it did. Did you touch one?
Well, at least the tissue paper.
Oh, the tissue paper felt a little bit weird.
Holding tissue paper, I know what it feels like, and this tissue paper felt just a little off, right? Like the fibers weren't.
But to the naked eye, looking at like one iPhone to another, you wouldn't know.
Yes, and also the material is just as malleable.
Wow.
The tear it. Yeah.
So
that
my
is
question:
like high tech.
If you are a paranoid person, you look at this technology and think that somebody's going to buy it and then hide it away and never ever use it because it's the kind of thing that they do not want. Since a lot of phones get destroyed every year in toilets.
Kind of how the electric car was.
Your conspiracy.
Yeah.
My conspiracy thing is someone's going to drop that in the water supply and we're going to drink it and all die.
Oh, Ice 9?
Yeah.
It could be Ice 9. That could be really bad.
Dude, that's so scary.
Like,
if you had materials,
to your hand.
Right? If you had materials like that on you, like if someone sprayed the city with that,
yeah, I asked if it was safe.
We'd die.
And he said, yeah, of course.
This sounds like an
they always
amazing
say,
product,
yeah, of course.
but the practical application of it, I mean, it's only really for like if you accidentally drop your phone in the toilet, which is pretty rare.
No,
or if you get
there are other
rain.
types of technology, obviously, that could use or products that could use.
Think about getting a raincoat made out of this stuff. You could have a
I
raincoat
could spray
made
it on
out
my
of
watch,
Kleenex.
and then I could wash my hands.
Yeah. Right.
Without ever worrying about the
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly.
All right. Okay.
So I mean, I wonder if we will actually see this in products though, because I think it may be.
I mean, it sounds too good to not.
Money to be made.
Well, what it sounds like is not something that should be sold as like an aftermarket spray that you
No, it
buy.
should be built
It should
out
be like
of the
Apple
phone.
should buy
Yes.
and
Yes.
just pre-coat everything.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes.
Sign a deal.
Yeah.
I love it.
That company's called Liquipel. I thought it was a magical demo.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing he did say is that the tissue wore down after a while. So
Right.
after when we first walked up, he was doing one that had been done 100 times or something.
And while that wasn't
when he
damp,
it
definitely looked a little.
it was
used.
ragged.
Yes.
But that could just be. I mean, if you think about it, if you crumple up a tissue and uncrumple it 100 times, it's not going to hold together well.
of course,
The
yeah.
structural integrity is going to go.
I like that. That sounds.
way
I'd
down.
like to see that video.
From the distant future. We went back with Drew and Thomas because they hadn't gotten to see the AKTV. Went and looked at it again, and it remains unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
That's the thing I'm most jealous of.
The thing about this trip this time, though, is instead of watching the TV like I did the last time, I was watching people's reactions as they walked up to the TV.
Right.
And I obviously wasn't alive when motion pictures or television were invented, but I have to think that it was the same reaction from these people that you got the first time they went to see a moving picture or a television in their house. Because people were walking up and the jaws were slack. There was no drool, but people were just going.
I think that's a bit of hyperbole. When motion pictures were invented,
When have you ever heard somebody go, "Oh"? at a
when
trade
motion
show?
pictures were invented and like they were showing trains coming out, people thought that was real.
Yeah, the
and
gunman at the end
and
of
tried
the
to
Great Train Robbery.
dodge, the train and got scared. There was none of that here. People weren't reaching out and trying to put their hand in the
People
scene.
were leaning up and practically resting their eyeballs on the screen.
No, that again hyperbole. No one was doing that at all. They were trying to go up to see the pixels, which
Yes.
you could still see.
Yes, of
no
course.
one and the camera, while there's only one 8K camera and the images look amazing, even with the perfect optimal viewing,
Yes.
amazing. It didn't look like
Still
you could
washout.
put your hand into the scene.
Well, of course
It was
not.
like that. It was
It's
by
not
far.
magic.
I'm
It's a
saying
TV.
by far the most amazing picture I've seen on a display.
It was.
But I will not say that the same effect as when motion pictures were invented.
You didn't look at the faces. People were.
I made a face. And my face was,
I'm telling
whoa, that's amazing.
People were completely blown away. Everybody who walked up to it. The most
Do you work-
jaded.
do you work for Sharp?
No, I don't work for Sharp. It looked unbelievable.
And I'm not saying it didn't look. I'm saying that you can't compare it to when motion pictures were invented. Sharp is not.
I just said I imagine it was a similar reaction.
Oh, it was not. I will tell you,
I was
not.
blown away.
And I wasn't there, but
I
based on the
was-
history books, it was not.
On a lighter note, some company that we'd never heard of before. That's a French green electricity company that is good on Earth energy issues. Had something ridiculous. Do we want to talk about this? Should we save it for the video?
Talk about it. Yeah.
I got in a giant hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Wow. Do we have a video of this?
We do.
Of course.
All right.
Why else would I get in a giant hamster video?
Did you roll around in it?
No, I got going real fast and got a little scared though. There was a pole to hold on to because we don't have 4 feet, so it's hard to balance in there.
Yes,
right.
It would be very difficult to run in that wheel without holding on to something.
Well, I mean, I've seen like these shows like Wipeout and stuff where they have people rolling around in big balls and stuff. So.
Yeah,
it was like that.
Well, this was just the circle. It was a weird experience.
Was it hard to stop?
What was the
It
point
was hard
of that?
to stop. If you ran for a minute, they donated money to charity.
Oh, okay.
So
they weren't demonstrating any kind of technology.
No, they weren't.
All right.
We weren't generating electricity or anything like that.
No, you were generating electricity. Because it was lighting.
Is that what those lights were?
Yes, on the side.
Did they stay lit up the whole time, or were they flashing?
They were
Oh,
all
when you said
flashing.
wheel, for some reason I was thinking like a hamster ball.
No.
Okay.
This was a cylinder, not a ball.
Oh, no,
Right,
I've done
right.
the hamster ball.
Right.
I did that at GDC, and that it was terrible.
Yeah.
Remember the virtual reality hamster
and
ball?
the Zorb too, the thing that you get up on the top of the hill and they put some water in there with you and you slide around and they throw you down a hill, a big inflatable ball.
Oh, I want to do that.
I'd do that.
I'd do that.
Yeah.
They did that on an amazing race.
Full disclaimer: we did not see Taser. At
Taser's
all.
not here.
Oh, after all
This
the
year.
hype about who was going to get
know.
tased,
Yeah.
it never even came up.
No Taser. Disappointed.
bummer.
I'm going to give you a topic and I'm going to look and make sure that Taser wasn't there. We looked all over. I didn't see him. Toby, 2 eyes.
I don't want. Okay, we'll talk about Toby. It's definitely interesting.
Future technology.
Before we went to CES, there was a report that came out that said this company called Toby had eye tracking technology, and we've seen eye tracking technology before. I mean, it's in the glassless 3D TVs.
Is this the Windows 8 thing?
This is the Windows 8.
Okay.
Thing. So, and Matt actually seen this and wrote a story about it.
Taser was not at the show.
Okay, good, confirmed. And I'd seen tweets from other tech journalists saying, "Well, this Toby thing is legit. It's kind of cool."
Yeah.
So I went to their booth and got the demo, and the application, not what you'd think. So I'm going to go with the Windows 8 experience first, kind of in reverse.
Okay.
Because I thought the Windows 8 one
let's
was...
only do that because that's the most interesting.
No, the Windows 8 application is the least interesting.
Well, then do the interesting one. Skip the boring shit.
Well, I want to dispel the myth that this is actually useful for Windows 8.
Oh, it's not.
It's not.
Myth dispelled.
Yeah.
What about the Gizmodo guy that said, "I have seen the future of technology"?
Then he smokes crap.
He also writes for Gizmodo, so you got that headline.
Hey, we like Gizmodo, except
that headline.
Yeah, it was a bad headline. Hyperbole.
So looking at
future of TV,
right? So
it's like the thing I liked about the story. The headline was actually the playing with Windows 8 eye tracking made me a believer in technology again, and it kind of made me think if you're not a believer in technology, you probably shouldn't be running for a tech website.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
Anyway,
okay. Eye tracking. So it shoots like the Kinect. It shoots an array of infrared on you, and then with
near infrared,
and with camera, it'll figure out where your eyes are.
Yeah.
You do have to calibrate it, so you have to look in the four corners, look at the moving ball, whatever.
Right.
For Windows 8,
is it kind of like the beginning of like a first-person shooter where they say, "Look up, look down"?
Exactly.
Okay.
Like look in that corner, look in this corner.
Right.
And once you do like a quick 20-second calibration, in Windows 8, it doesn't replace the mouse. It replaces the touch screen. So have you seen those Windows Phone 7 demos, like how they demo it where you see the hovering circle?
I have not, no.
It's how they kind of simulate touch on devices that aren't touchscreen.
Right. Yeah, during the Microsoft keynote, when they show somebody's fingers touching
I do know
gray
circle, right? The little dot on the Apple device.
Right.
Okay,
so it's like that. So where you look is where that little dot is.
Right. Oh, I see.
And you can't open an application by like blinking, or at least not in this demo.
That would be really unfair.
Right.
But can you move a dot around the screen with your eyes?
Yeah. You can actually physically move the dot. It would know where your eyes were. It wasn't moving in real time, the dot. So, for example,
the dot was for you to calibrate. When your eyes were, when the dot was your eyes, they would move in real time.
Was it really moving in real time?
It was moving as you were tilting your head and stuff.
Moving in real time, so you would look at, for example, the launcher in the Metro app, like Internet Explorer, and then you still have to click a button to launch it. But it's where your finger is hovering. It doesn't do the actual press.
Okay, so not as good as the hype.
Yeah, not for Windows 8, but it does fulfill the hype for the other applications.
Okay.
For example, CAD, right? This was, I think, the best demo.
I thought this was super cool. Like, put this in an RTS, I would be crazy excited about it.
I think kinda, yeah. I could actually see it in RTS. So the way it worked, people who do design or 3D modeling work, right? They usually have like big monitors, 30-inch monitors, and you gotta have to zoom in and zoom out. There's a lot of scaling at work, right? So you move your mouse to one corner, and then you kind of like control +++ to zoom in, or scroll the mouse wheel to zoom in, right? And this demo had an image, and I could look anywhere on the image, and then just scroll the wheel, and it would zoom up like a Google Maps.
Oh,
hinge.
it would that would be the point that you'd want to zoom in
And
too.
it's center in real time of that
cool.
image. So
It
I
was
could
pretty rad.
wander my eyes around and just scroll, and it would just zoom in and out.
But he's still using the mouse to scroll. The mouse.
Right.
wheel
The mouse
scroll.
wheel.
So it's not like your eyes are completely taken over, but it's
No,
like
correct.
eye assisted.
Eye assist,
right.
as opposed to moving the mouse across a mouse pad and then zooming in.
Yeah.
You're using your eye, which is more natural because that's where you're looking.
Got it.
And that's where you want to enhance the image.
You know when you lose the cursor, like you can't find it on a big monitor,
Yeah.
and you kind of look around for it because you want to zoom in on something to change the focus. You can also change focus in Windows and stuff like that. It was pretty neat.
We say means change focus, meaning if you have like two documents open,
Right.
and you want, like for example, you have a web browser and a Word document, and you look at the web browser, you want to scroll down, you look at the web browser and scroll, and that's what's scrolling.
Right.
And if you look over the Word document and scroll, then that's what's scrolling.
Yeah. I mean,
so that's a
does
more
it feel
natural,
natural?
That is a more
Okay.
natural use
Yeah.
case for this technology. It's not for us.
It's very expensive.
It's in the thousands
Profoundly
of dollars.
expensive, yeah.
But is there a sense that this is what we will be using down the road?
They're looking for partners and building out. First, they're going to target pro, CAD CAM, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's already an assistive technology so that people who have spinal injuries and things like that and have limited mobility can use that.
I can see it being very useful for that.
Incredibly
You know what else
useful.
useful? Imagine like you fucking are Superman in a Superman game, first person.
Yeah.
You're looking around your monitor, and that's where your laser beams shoot. That's where
pretty
heat
cool.
vision is.
Right. Yeah.
That is cool.
See, a couple more future things. We saw some crazy 3D glasses today. First thing we saw at the Verizon booth. I can't remember what this one was called. Do you
It's
remember
called
it all?
Golden Eye with the letter I at the end as
Dun,
opposed
dun,
to
dun,
EYE.
dun.
And I got a tip of this actually from another booth. Some dude who had worked in PR and recognized me. He said, I asked him, because you always, the thing you got to ask, I mean, because one, you don't want to really make conversation with these people because you don't really know them.
Well, no, I mean, it's
I mean,
just, it's just
you're
the one
cordial.
point in common that you have with everyone
Right.
that's at the
Oh,
show.
yeah. The one point of common is that you're all at a
Everybody's looking for
Everyone
cool shit.
is at this consumer electronics show.
Yeah.
That is your point of. Yeah.
At E3, what's the best thing you've seen?
Exactly.
At any trade show,
Yeah.
it's what's the best thing you see, except for maybe like the Cow Farmers
Well,
Association.
if you ask the extreme the PR people, sometimes they'll say, "Oh, it's the other product."
It's
I'm
my
working."
thing that I have.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
and to be
okay.
fair, we did get that tip, and it was pretty cool because that was the Liquid Pro thing.
Oh, that was from David.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was another PR guy. So you ask someone, what's the coolest thing you've seen because you want to get a tip, and he's been on the floor. It's an extra pair of eyes. And this guy said, you got to go to the Verizon booth, and they have something that's basically out of Universal Soldier, like a head-mounted thing. And I was extremely skeptical.
It looked. Let me just say,
Yeah.
of all the lady repellent things that we saw at the show, this was the most lady repellent-y of all the lady.
Real headgear.
Okay, let's hear about it.
It looked like headgear.
Yeah, exactly. Like like a wireless or a headset, right? So you have a strap on top of your head, except a little monitor that flips out to the front.
Okay.
And you look into it.
And on the left side, a camera.
And left side a camera, and the back actually is smartphone hardware. So OMAP hardware.
Right at the base of your skull.
So it's a wireless
That's gotta
thing.
be
It's not
good
plugged
for
in any power. Everything is
All right,
contained.
okay.
Yeah.
You put it on. It connects. It's at the Verizon booth because it connects to 4G LTE.
Yes.
But what you saw in the little image thing, the monitor, which is like a viewfinder. So like imagine looking into like a electronic viewfinder in a camera. It's that kind of thing.
It was amazing.
You get to get your video. You get to the website. The interface they had was to like check maps. It
was all voice control.
It was all voice. That was the cool part, right?
Yeah.
So you'd read like activate camera 2. Enhance, and then the image would zoom in.
Literally, you could go open laser picture. You'd open laser picture.
Yeah.
It
Browse
and then
folder.
Zoom in.
Call
zoom in.
doctor. That
and
kind of stuff.
And it's all head tracking. So when you're looking around the menus, you're scrolling through the menus by just kind of looking left and right like this. And the gyroscope in it is picking up your movement and the field of vision. So even if you're looking at it's a very small screen. I can't remember what resolution he said that screen was. And I don't have my notes. But basically, even though you're looking at a very small number of pixels, I think it was SVGA. When you add the motion tracking that was incredibly smooth, really good performing, then you could look at a whole huge image, zoomed out and then zoom in. Running WinCE with a custom UI on top, they made it look a little bit Metro-y, I thought. And you could even feed like live video cam. You could feed footage from your video cam out to someplace else. It was all Mission Impossible shit.
So what would the real world applications be?
Security guards.
Security guards. So professional security guys or guys who are working cranes, they could who need to watch different cameras or need to tap into databases and blueprints and stuff.
Yeah.
or mechanics, like you're a mechanic, you're an airplane mechanic, you're up in the cowl of an engine working on something, you don't have a space for a tablet. This is, just to be clear, this specific use case is something I've heard since the very first Palm Pilot debuted. Oh, airplane mechanics need this because they work in very cramped spaces and they can't carry the big schematics in with them. So they need something. It
sounds like something you'd see in a Mission Impossible movie.
Exactly.
Exactly what it was.
Right. You know, Simon Pegg's like he's in the guts of like some big computer and he's like looking down his little eye thing and calling you know Ethan Hunt. And,
yeah.
Just Tom Cruise wouldn't have worn this one.
Yeah.
This
it's a Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg.
Yeah, the nerd.
It fits under a hard hat quite well. Obviously, it's not. There's no pricing. It's not for us. It's just a cool.
It's just a cool thing.
Sounds cool.
The lens in the display, in the micro display, were very similar to the one in those ski goggles yesterday. I don't. Did we talk about that on the show? We might not have.
We did.
So then the other 3D glasses, the other ambient. This is augmented reality glasses. So those are put the screen in a place that's relatively easy to see, but they're not really overlaying data on top of your vision. We went to this.
I want to say the voice recognition stuff works really well, and I had never had so much fun just browsing a menu.
Yeah, you spent a lot of time in those menus
because the voice control stuff was cool.
It was
right. You said like open this picture, close that folder, call this person.
Well, it's like we said with Connect. You know, it's funny how the stuff that we've actually embraced the most is the voice control stuff rather than the motion tracking.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. It needs to be a little faster, a little more responsive.
The next pair of augmented reality glasses we saw were from a company called Lumos.
We talked about this yesterday.
You
gave Braga shit about the name.
I did.
Okay.
Because he didn't remember the name.
Yes.
Absolutely stunning glasses. Looked like maybe not normal glasses, but they were.
They looked like. Actually, they look like Dolby 3D active shutter glasses.
They were more attractive than that.
No, not real D. Dolby.
Oh.
They're the wider ones.
Yeah, I can see that.
Is there? I wanted to ask you like a broader question about 3D at CES. Did you, from the stuff that you were seeing that was meant to be coming like later this year and into next, or whatever, the shutter glasses are on the way out?
I didn't see a single pair of shutter glasses.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh wait, Sony had them in the booth. A couple people had them in the booth on those stands where you walk up and kind of rest your eyeballs in the thing, and you're like, oh, okay, shutter glasses.
And Samsung is still a very shutter.
Everybody still has them. Panasonic and Samsung still have them.
LG is out and Vizio is out of shutter glasses.
Okay.
Samsung is.
Sony, Samsung, and Panasonic are still in.
But Samsung did not make a big deal about thinner, lighter shutter glasses.
Right, and I don't think Panasonic was showing any 3D stuff in the booth that I saw.
They're all about their apps.
Okay.
Right. So these aren't 3D glasses necessarily. These are augmented reality glasses. So they have some LCOS projectors on the side of the lens, and they had a big kind of bulky side. It wasn't too big, but it was bigger than I would probably want to wear fashionably. I assume they think they're going to continue to get smaller. And these were prototypes, so they're not. They're still 2 years out from any kind of real product at all for consumers. But they use LCOS projectors on either side of the lens, and they project a fairly massive image at the infinity focus point. So for human eyes, if you have decent vision, then the point at which you focus and then everything else beyond that is in focus is 3 to 5 feet.
It's everything that Matt described yesterday.
Yes.
But you have to. Literally, you have to see it to believe it.
Were you able to take photos?
You cannot take photos.
Of it.
Yeah, which is why we didn't shoot a full video.
I wondered when you were there. It was absolutely stunning. Really, really, really
it's
impressive.
A hologram floating in front of your face.
Right. Like
and their demo
wherever
they did,
you're looking. I mean, they follow along.
They had like people against a black screen like dancing or whatever walking. And if you would just stare at the right distance, like 10, 20 feet away from you, it would look like they were in the room as a hologram walking around.
I don't think that's true. It looked like they were standing.
You had to look at the right place.
I looked all over and I didn't see anything that looked like the right place.
It's like 10, 20 feet. 20 feet.
I understand. I'm just saying.
Then it didn't look like that at all.
Didn't
look like that at all. That's not what that's what they were going for, but didn't look like that.
Yeah, I think. Okay. But the thing is, the brightness wasn't appropriate, and they were still.
They were holograms.
They were still transparent.
That's why I said they were holograms.
Oh, I missed that. Yeah, I mean, it did look like they were holograms. Yes. I thought that was really cool. They also make the monocle that goes in F-16 fighter helmets. Yeah. So
yes.
So that's like that. That's what their business is.
It's called Lumos. Those are two. And then the guy who actually recommended the Liquid Pro stuff to us, he was running the Thrustmaster booth.
Thrustmaster.
Thrustmaster still a thing?
Yeah, it's hard to. Well, they're owned by Gimo now.
A little bit of a tangent. There are a lot of companies at CES that we recognize the names of, like that have been like electronics companies for decades, or maybe at least 10 years that were big and like we would go, wow, they're still around. I can't believe it. And now they're kind of smaller, a little focused, refocused.
Like Sony. Who knew?
Well, Sony had the biggest booth at the convention.
I'm kidding. They had Kelly Pickler today.
Yeah, that's.
You know Kelly? Oh, you know, you're an idol. Right.
I know who that was. It was like one of those walking the booth, like, this music's really loud. I can't even focus on the Vita and say, oh, the girl's playing music. And her name
it was a live performance.
Oh, yeah. I wish they turned it down. I had no idea. I don't know who she was.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. She sang one of the breakup songs before the Microsoft press conference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So companies like, to be serious, not Sony, company like Diamond Multimedia, right?
Yeah, Diamond Multimedia, holy shit.
Holy crap, Diamond, who made the Reel, the first MP3 player.
And the first 3DFX card.
Made awesome video cards.
Snake Plissken, I thought you were dead.
Right.
They're still there, have a booth, and they're still making video cards.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, they do Radeon cards. Somebody, I think some holding company bought their name, and they just basically rebadged stuff.
And what is Thrustmaster doing now?
Thrustmaster makes high-end. Well, for a while they made kind of garbagey stuff. They went real low end and competed with like Nyko and those guys.
But are they still making like flight sticks?
So yeah, they had an A10 Warthog HOTAS flight stick, hands-on throttle and stick, like crazy 50 million buttons, and it weighed 45 pounds.
I love that they're still doing that. I mean,
because it wasn't hooked up to anything.
The thing is, I always wondered about that because back in the day, flight simulators used to be such a big part of gaming, especially on the PC. And now that genre has almost died, and I kind of felt like the accessory market would have gone with it.
Well, the other thing that's picked up for them, I think probably more so than the flight sim market, is the racing sim market. So, like
wheels are always big.
Starting like Colin McRae Rally, and
they're very good. I mean, Colin McRae became Dirt, Grid, and F1.
Exactly.
Codemasters games, and they were great PC games.
Right. So they were showing F1 2011, which is the brand new F1 thing. They have a licensed Ferrari F1 wheel. So if you've seen an F1 wheel before, it has millions of little daubed. Yeah. No. It's actually quite big.
No.
Well, you're thinking about the IndyCar wheels that are just basically pull things. They're like steering. It's like handles attached to ropes that you pull back and forth. This is a big wheel. It has all the instrumentation for the car on it, and they have to remove it before the driver can get out of the car. You can't fit out without taking the wheel off.
Right, the driver gets in and then they slot the wheel in over
Exactly,
him.
That's the one you're thinking.
Lots of knobs and dials with like meters.
And like a little lights on top and a speedometer and tachometer and all that stuff. Yeah. So literally, this is an exact replica of the Ferrari one from last year, from 2011.
Minus
5 knobs.
The 5 knobs in the center don't actually work, which out of like a dozen,
there's so many
knobs,
buttons.
Right?
It was like the HOTAS.
And there was no like digital screen on top. That's the only thing.
No digital screen on top. That's correct.
Yeah. Otherwise, like when you were playing the game and it was mapped perfectly, and you were turning the wheel, you saw almost the exact same wheel turning on the screen.
So this was hooked up to a really high end sim. It's the kind of thing that you put in a sled. You've seen those sleds at E3.
Yeah, well, I mean, as I was going to say, because even though the flight market is kind of degraded, driving games are as big as ever. Yeah. And when I was briefly looked into getting a wheel last year, I was looking at
Don't tell Jeff and Ryan.
Looking at some of the stuff that people had done in their homes, and people build entire cars that they sit in.
Oh yeah, they have articulated ones that move.
13 companies that make sleds.
Yeah, so they had a couple of sleds set up. They had the F1 wheel. Of course, it has the paddle shifters, and the neat thing about the F1 cars is on them, on normal paddle shifters, the shifters are part of the steering column, so they don't move. On this, the paddles move with the wheel. Yeah. So you have both sets of paddles. The back ones don't work in F1 games, of course. Right. But you flip it and it pivots through the back of the thing just like it does in a real car.
The whole system is wildly expensive. It's
no doubt.
Like $700, $600.
Yeah,
for the serious enthusiast.
Yeah, it's for the kind of guy who buys. That's literally the game that they play, and they play that until the next one comes out.
And either you have a massive TV or a tri-monitor setup for that type of thing with the sled.
Right. It was pretty fun. Yeah. I mean, those aren't games for me, but I appreciate that.
Do you want to use this time to take a question from the chat?
Yeah, of course. We haven't taken any questions in a long time. Matt's sitting over there idly, just I guess reading questions from the chat. What's going on, Matt?
Let's see here. I mean, they're basically just discussing you guys and the racing wheels right now.
Is Jeff there?
We actually did have some questions from way earlier.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
What products are noteworthy and unavailable for Q1 that can be purchased by general?
Did anyone ask that in particular?
That was asked by EJ the Bad.
Like what's the cool stuff that people are going to be able to get their hands on? Like not blue sky stuff, but like something that's going to be available very soon.
I think that blast chiller refrigerator is probably available soon.
Okay.
God.
That is hard. I saw the pictures. It's hard to get excited about that. Yes, they can make 1 can of beer or Coke.
Two cans.
You and a friend.
Very quickly.
Right, you can fill a funnel.
Wasn't there supposed to be some kind of technology that I heard about? Like the better solution that it's a water. You can take any kind of room temperature can of beer or can of whatever, and when you crack it, it instantly becomes cold.
There is a technology that does that. They don't actually do it because of liability issues. It's like the self-heating coffee in Japan.
Right.
So the self-heating coffee in Japan, you pop it open, a chemical reaction happens in a little sealed-in container in the bottom, and the bottom of the can gets so hot that if you put it on your leg or something, you'll burn yourself. Yeah, okay. So I don't think the self-chilling cans.
The blast chiller uses conductive.
There's a metal rail that the can.
Which is not new technology. There have been these, in Sky Mall or Sharp Image, gadgets literally that promise to chill a can of soda.
I'm going to tell you if you need to chill a beer incredibly fast, the way you do it is you get a small bowl or bucket, put some ice in there, pour some salt on the ice, and then add about a cup of water maybe. Put the beer in there and stir it around, and the ice will drop the temperature of the water to below freezing. And by agitating the can, it generates currents that move the warm water away.
The old
from the thing.
ice salt water trick.
Exactly.
No, it's a real trick.
I just jam the can in like the ice maker in my freezer.
See, the ice maker. See, now I'm going to tell you that is
it's a brute force method.
That is highly risky because if you forget and you walk away, it's going to explode. I blew up a couple of beer bottles once doing that, and that was a mistake I will never
I don't forget. If I want a can of Coke now, I still want it in 5 minutes.
Siri, remind me in 5 minutes to pick up my can of Coke.
Exactly. And what the fridge should remind you.
Imagine a world.
Oh, hold on, I've got a text. Your fridge says my drink is cold.
Oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom and pick it up on the way back. Boom!
Any more questions?
Yeah.
What with the LCD window? Did they say anything about what like high temperatures or sunlight does to it? Like, is this a thing that can actually be used as a legitimate window?
The smart window from I hate calling that. The Samsung
transparent
LCD. I'm not going to call it a smart window.
No compromise.
Don't buy into it.
I'm going to call it Samsung transparent LCD window or display because window is just an application for it. Windows doesn't hurt it. Like it doesn't.
It's a normal LCD.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the only difference between that and a normal LCD is that there's no backlight attached, and there's a touchscreen on one side.
No backlight. It has to be side lighted with LEDs, which they do sell. They did actually talk about how sturdy it worked. Like, how does it compare to like tempered glass or like the kind of window they use here to make sure people can't jump out the window?
I mean, that's the imagine that people actually will use these as windows. I don't think you can really market a window that it's like, well, don't put it near sunlight.
Well, it's actually interesting. I saw a guy filming it today, and clearly from a different part of technology or different. He's at CES for not the same reason we are. He actually was talking about it being used for like restaurants for like menus to advertise their menus on their window.
Right there on the window, yeah.
Yeah, as people walk by.
That's very cool.
Like scrolling window
menus.
This
sort of sounds a bit like that Microsoft video they did recently where it was all about glass touch.
Except for that was all bullshit and this was something you could actually touch.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say that it was pretty bendy. I think it's a plastic. I think it was a plastic window. So I mean, depending on what kind of plastic they use, some plastics don't hold up well to sun over a long period of time. So I mean, again, this is not a product. This is like the Microsoft Surface. It's probably not a product that normal people are going to buy.
That's so funny because Samsung also makes the Microsoft Surface.
They do. Even the 2.0 ones.
Yeah. All right. Now this is still in the Imagine a World category.
Imagine a world. More questions, Matt?
Manwich wants to know if you guys saw any smartwatches.
Yes.
Really?
No.
I didn't see it. Very good point. I wanted to see a smartwatch. I think it's like a CES of missed opportunities.
I saw Drew wearing a MetaWatch yesterday.
What?
He was wearing one of those MetaWatch dev kits yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Like we have.
The
TI
ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I was walking by and I was like, oh, hey, that's a MetaWatch, and then
MetaWatch.
Yeah.
That really feels like a category that's being neglected.
Yeah, which means it's an opportunity for someone to come in to really kill it.
I will say we saw a lot of iPad Nano watch bands. There were a lot of those.
Yeah, well, that's a whole
area.
category now.
Yeah,
that's a big. That's
you're part of the
cases.
You bought 2 of them, so you're part of the cause of this category. You're part of the problem.
I think it's a good category. I'd like to see it grow more.
All right, we'll take more chat questions later. If you're in the chat, please at Matt Braga or at Bagels, I think it is, at Bagels. And it'll be even if you ask it while we're having a conversation, he can still call it up later with the at replies tab.
Let's talk about some more. We're making pretty good progress here through the big long list. We saw our friends from Makerbot today. They're having a party tonight at New York, New York. Started at about.
They really. Oh man, I don't have my bag. They really like us.
Yeah, dude, they really like us. I couldn't. I was.
Shit.
Well, shit,
I was.
yeah, I mean,
shit, I had something for show and tell.
Stuff.
I had a show and tell thing that I forgot.
No.
Oh no!
No, it's okay, Wes. You don't have to go get it.
Okay, so we knew we were going to shoot a Makerbot video because they have a new Makerbot.
Yeah. So let's talk about that.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about definitely. Will I mean you're friends with Bree? Talk about the Makerbot.
So, well, first off, we do a lot of promotion for them. We also do really, really incredibly stupid stuff.
Yes.
With a pretty serious, like technically awesome device, right? Something that's magical and from the future.
But I made the point that you're also the one that goes through every week the troubleshooting that is required to make that video because it's
like when it doesn't happen, it's not because we're lazy or forgot to do it.
It's because there's a lot of technical difficulties.
I spent 4 hours working on it and had to walk away.
Yeah. So for that to happen, I think it justifies their love for us.
I guess that's true. So
and you bring awareness to Thingiverse, which they're really trying to grow.
Well, and so a couple of announcements. First off, is that they redesigned Thingiverse and they've added the ability to put relationships between items. So, for example, right now because it's all Creative Commons or open source.
Yeah.
So you can download, depending on, it's I think up to the user when you upload something.
Yeah.
So you can download a model and then change it to suit you. So if somebody makes a bottle opener, you can go through and take that bottle opener that somebody uploaded, change it to make it better or use a different material or a slightly different design, and then re-upload it. And previously there was no way to show a relationship between that stuff. So they've added that. This is not a super sexy update, but it's a good thing for Thingiverse.
Yes. Thingiverse, I mean, they're really, that will make or break their business because
widely available models.
You want to have a database of models that you can print at home. That's the fun of having a Makerbot. It needs to be easy to use, and you need to have a lot of modeling stuff. And it's also fun to model, obviously.
Absolutely.
Right now, it's
fun to fuck around with.
Exactly. I mean, Matt wrote a great how-to about how to make stuff to import like Valve models, virtual models, and turn it into a Makerbot model, and that's super fun. Makerbot is also, I'm going to give a quick shout out to them. They are also looking for people who are really good modelers to possibly hire.
They're looking for a bunch of people.
Yeah.
They're looking for web developers, modelers, Python people, Java people,
front-end designers,
3D modelers.
3D modelers because they want people to set
examples
for Thingiverse, inspire the community, and they're willing to hire these people.
Right.
That is super awesome.
I think that's rad. And so the other side of this is that we were talking to Bree. When we first met Bree, literally that company was him and 2 other dudes. None of them were getting paid. They were just working out of their garage and like eating ramen all the time, I guess. Now they have 75 employees. They have a 10,000 square foot warehouse in Brooklyn. It is a real business.
Yes.
And that's happened since we launched the site 2 years ago. So awesome. Like we've totally wasted our time and fucked up. We could have done something really amazing. I mean, I guess Tesla's
and they're changing the world.
Yeah, they're changing the world. Yeah. So Replicator is the new product. It is
First of all, they're calling it the Replicator.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in the CNC business and you're making Makerbot's, Makerbot's a cool name and it kind of gets across what your product does. But when you call a product the Replicator and you're selling it to nerds, there are high expectations.
Very high expectations.
Right? You're expecting the
tea,
Star
Earl
Trek,
Grey, hot.
You're expecting teal Earl Grey hot, correct? But
I'm expecting feline supplement number 57.
This is version 1.0
of the Replicator. So they're finally comfortable to a point where they think this is a real thing that
Norm, you were full of astute observations today.
That people more, thank you.
More so than normal. I mean, you're usually full of astute observations, but today was a good day for you.
That people that are more, maybe not as grognardy as some of us are, can actually go and buy.
Yes.
And there are a couple things that help that
Can
process.
we say that grognard is the word of the show?
No.
I mean, for us, our word of the show.
Uncompromising is the word of the show.
No compromises.
No, well, yeah.
That's 2 words. Okay, so Replicator.
It's called the Replicator, but they also made the point that if they weren't going to call it the Replicator, some other competing CNC company would take it away from them.
Is this what we were talking about while I was talking to Bree? Okay.
Yeah. And there are actually other, I mean, while we favor the Makerbot because we know them and that's what we've used, there are other companies.
There are a bunch of other.
that do
the
similar
RepRap guys who do really good work, and they have a really neat platform that can do some stuff that the Makerbot frankly can't do. I mean, the Makerbot has always been a machine. It's not a no compromises machine. It is a machine with very specific compromises up until this point. to allow for a low price and relatively easy entry into this marketplace.
So
the replicator is new. First off, the most obvious change is it can print much bigger things. Talk
about
the cupcake,
context. So,
right? The original cupcake was called the cupcake because it could print something about the size of a cupcake. 4 inches by 4 inches by 3 inches, or 3 inches by 3 inches by 4 inches.
Yes.
The Thingamatic made that a little bit bigger. I think the platform is like 33% bigger, and it can go a little bit higher. It's a little bit taller. It's a bigger box. The replicator is significantly larger. It prints about the size of a loaf of bread. And you could do some hacks to make it even bigger than that.
And they didn't want to call it the loaf of bread.
They didn't want to call it, that's a terrible name. The loafy would be an awful name for this kind of device. The other massive change, there's some other stuff that I'm not going to get into because it's real nerdy. They're now moving the print head. So previously, the platform moved under the print head to make the layers. So it would, you've seen the thing move, and it's all, the model moves underneath the print head. Now the print head moves over the model, which is a significant change in stability and reliability of the platform. The massive, massive change is now it has 2 heads. So you have 2 materials that you can print with. You can print with 2 different colors, which is what they're starting with. But the thing I'm really, really excited about is that because the Makerbot can print with different materials, you can print with, say, ABS plastic, which is a carbon polymer-based plastic, an oil-based plastic, basically. Or you can print with PLA, which is a cornstarch-based plastic. PLA will dissolve in materials that ABS doesn't. So what that means, and they don't have the software working on this yet because it's a little bit of a jump. But what that means is that you'll be able to use one type of plastic as a support material for separate type of plastics, so you can make much more complex, much more durable, much more objects with overhangs and all sorts of crazy stuff that you just can't do right now when you're only printing ABS plastic.
When you're printing from the bottom up.
Now, we're talking way too much about Makerbot. I know people are probably bored.
No,
in the
it's
chat.
fucking awesome.
But literally, when you read William Gibson's, I think it was one of the Bay Area books. I can't remember which one. But they literally talk about the replicators that are in every convenience store. You go and you put your thing in, you hit the button, and something spits out. Might have been Mona Lisa Overdrive. I can't remember. This is that. Wes looks pensive.
I don't recall that.
Okay.
The ones I've read, so.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Anyway, it's amazing technology.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for those guys.
Our cupcake from the Thingamatic looked like the cupcake, but it's bigger.
Bigger.
This actually looks completely different. It's wider. It's different form factor. It's 2 print heads, prints at once.
The controls are built into it. It's not a separate box like we had to build for the Thingamatic.
I mean, it still has that wood, that scorched
wood.
Well, it's
laser cut.
Laser cut wood
Yeah.
look, but it looks more like a real thing. And I will say the biggest thing that might be more exciting to viewers is that it comes pre-built.
Yeah.
You buy it and you don't have to build it yourself.
I feel like if they're ever going to get this thing's going to be mass market, that's kind of what
that's what Bree said. I mean, they always knew that this was going to happen at some point. I mean, in some ways, they've been using the cupcake and the Thingamatic as test beds to learn to both perfect their extruder print head. The thing that actually takes the plastic in, pushes it down through a path, and then heats it up and spits it out in controlled bursts. That's something that they definitely knew was going to
and I mean also there's a certain amount of irony to the idea of a device that can make things for you, but you first have to make the device.
I think that's kind of
that's the old Starship thing, right? Why can't they just replicate a whole Starship, right?
Why can't they just replicate?
It's too big.
It's too big.
Complicated.
Too complex.
Yeah. So you have shipyards and build the ship.
But they can replicate organic matter, which is even more complex.
It's fake organic matter with the bags. The bags of replication gel.
There's a law. I can't remember what the law is, but there's a law that says one single machine can't make something that's as complex as itself, and it's the same situation.
Unless you're a human.
Except, that takes 2 machines.
Yes.
Boom, chicka, wow.
Very clever. So they had their booth it was kind of unfortunate because their booth was hidden in the South Hall area, in like a kind of like
upstairs in a corner by a disused lavatory.
No, it was hidden in a corner across from the electronic cigarettes section. And
it was not awesome.
Yeah, not placement. A really good. I mean, it deserved much.
Well, that really sounds like the skeeziest corner.
Here's the thing, though. They had massive traffic into the booth.
They did have traffic.
People absolutely loved them.
And not only because people love them, but the stuff they had to show. So if you go to Maker Faire and you stop by the Makerbot booth, right, you see a cool machine, right, but you also want to see what can this thing build.
Yeah.
And if you walk around the tested office, right, you see, we've built
dozens of
bottle openers and little rabbit here and a mustache here. It's cool, but not impressive.
No, it's not.
Were you impressed finally by the Makerbot?
And we've seen the evolution because we've seen it at Maker Faire a couple of times at different events. The booth was actually impressive. They had like these sets like they had a rocket ship in different colors. It's like 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
It's a play set, completely built with the Makerbot.
This is what I was going to say. I mean, as much as I think the Makerbot is cool, the stuff that I've seen it build kind of looks like the sort of stuff your kid would bring home from like 5th grade shop class.
Hey,
It's
play
not
pretty much
that-
right.
It's not that impressive.
We are not good MakerBot users. We are functional. What's the word that means your craftsmanship is weak, but the device works? That's where we are.
Okay.
We are not we are not good at tuning the MakerBot. We do not have good MakerBot skills.
Yeah.
We are
More daft
This
than
is
daft.
why I'm worried. This is why I always worry that those guys have thought that we were kind of assholes all this time.
And so they had little figurines or again I left it all in the room upstairs.
Yeah, I left
so
it
can't
in my
really show
badge
it, unfortunately.
pocket.
And the thing I want to bring for show and tell is they liked us, and we're gonna. I hope.
Oh, our ribbons!
Yeah, exactly. They awarded us Makerbot ribbons of
Friend
awesome.
of MakerBot.
Even though, by your own admittance, you're not very good at it.
We were
We're
a friend
okay.
of Makerbot. They gave us these
I'm
awesome
sure.
ribbons, and they took a photo and everything. It was very official. And
I imagine
it
there's a
felt
little
very
company
good.
that's trying to break out. They recognize
Yeah.
you as a site that's done a lot to help promote them.
Here's the thing: is if instead of working during the day, I could spend time working on the MakerBot around the clock, or took it
Yeah.
home with me for a couple of weekends.
Yeah.
I could. We could get it tuned in and at a point where it was awesome, does the same
Right,
stuff they do.
right,
I just, unfortunately, that's why I'm really excited about the replicator, is that it will hopefully not require as much tuning and upkeep as some of the earlier efforts. So yeah, it was great to see Bree. I love
else?
those guys. We saw Razer's new gaming tablet.
Yeah,
PC
so
gaming
remember,
tablet.
Razer is kind of famous for championing PC gaming, but on their terms. Kind of like how the PC gaming is great, but we're going to redefine it, or this is what we think PC gaming should be. Now, to be fair, they make awesome peripherals, and I say awesome.
Sometimes they're up and down.
I didn't say all of them.
Okay.
I just say they make some of their
when
products.
you say awesome peripherals, you kind of like that all
they
that
make
implies a
they
collective.
make awesome peripherals that they make. Some of them are awesome.
That's good. That's exactly.
I love their keyboard.
Right.
And I love their mouse.
You like the
mouse.
mechanical keyboards.
Mechanical, yes. The Black Widow Stealth. And I like the mouse.
Death Adder's a great mouse still after all these years.
And some of the stuff they've
headphones
made,
are pretty good.
Some of the headphones are. I mean, I use I stopped using the other headphone, the Megalodon, because the design
The cable got
the
annoying.
control panel was too heavy.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff they've made, the experimental PC stuff, has been weird and bad, including the Hydra, the motion control thing that they tried to do Portal with.
Didn't like that.
Right?
The
Didn't like
magnetic
that.
field thing.
Right.
Who were the guys that built that incredibly expensive gaming laptop?
They did. That was them.
that was them.
So they
Okay.
had the Blade.
The
which
Blade,
is,
that's
which
right.
we got hands-on time with today.
Yeah.
And it has a little screen on the side. There's no mouse pad in the center. It was super hot.
Oh,
it
was warm.
Really warm.
In fairness, it
not
had probably been running games for about 7 hours by the time we got
Sure.
there.
And it's completely impractical.
It looked like it would hurt your back every time you lifted it up.
Yeah.
And then last year,
And they also were really offensive when they launched that. They said it's the world's first gaming laptop. People have been making gaming
Real
laptops
gaming
for 10
laptops.
years.
I know, exactly.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
This thing was pretty cool, I
right.
thought. I know you're skeptical.
Okay, well, let's talk about get to that, because last year they demoed something behind closed glass, closed doors and under glass, which was what was it called?
It was the Blade.
No, the smaller.
Oh,
laptop.
it was a Shark or something like that.
Russ, what was the name of that? The small OLED with the screen.
It was a
Razer
tiny
had.
PC with the two screens.
And it was running like a Video Quick 3 on it.
Keep talking.
Switchblade.
Switchblade. Thank you, Wes. Nice job.
Yes, which they never released in the U.S. It was a small, like DS-sized device that had a screen on top, and then on the bottom had like configurable screens that were like OLEDs, kind of like that Optimus keyboard.
Yeah.
Look kind of weird. I think they did eventually release it in Asia, but never in the U.S.
Okay.
So before CES this year, they did a big tease, of course, and they said, and a video tease, and they said, okay, we're gonna revolutionize PC gaming again, as we always do. And the background from Razer is interesting because I think they're CEO and chief inventist.
Does he call himself an inventist?
No, I'm calling him an inventist. He's a guy who invents things that solves problems that don't need solving. He is incredibly enthusiastic about PCs and PC gaming.
Right.
Almost to a fault where he'll push Razer to do these things for PC gaming because he loves it so much. And they released this video that said, at CES, we'll have something, we're calling it Project Fiona, that's going to change PC gaming again. And our guess was that it was going to be the Switchblade they're finally going to release in the US. It's not that.
Okay.
It's a tablet.
All right.
I think this actually might change PC gaming.
Oh, don't make. I'm gonna be.
I'm not making your prediction.
I'm gonna let you
saying,
hedge right now. Please hedge, Will. This is exactly the type of product where you can hedge.
Here's the thing. I like playing PC games.
Yes.
I like sitting on the couch.
Okay.
This has been established.
That's why you have an iPad. That's why the iPad works great for you for those type of games.
I have one TV in my house, and I'm going to be frank. One of the things that I don't like about PC gaming right now is sitting in an office chair on my monitor.
What are the PC games that you like to enjoy?
I've been playing a lot of Skyrim these days.
Okay.
I've been playing a lot of Batman.
Okay. Good. These are games
most of the games I've been playing.
Well,
for example,
but these are also console games.
I haven't played Battlefield 3 single player or Call of Duty because they don't have gamepad support. And I've been doing my PC
You're
gaming
naming games that are basically console games.
That's
also
all the
work on
fucking PC games
so
there are.
why not a PS Vita then? Why not a
Because
what makes it uniquely PC?
This thing?
Yeah. If you're just naming console games that are gamepad games.
Essentially all PC games are console games at this point. Metro 2033.
When I say PC games,
Crisis
I'm talking about, first-person shooters.
Cargo, The Quest for Gravity.
Okay, Gary doesn't know what this is yet. Still,
oh yeah,
it's a tablet.
Paint a word picture.
It's a 10-inch tablet.
Yeah.
And
So many word
do you remember
pictures.
that Windows 8 laptop or tablet that developers got?
Yes.
So not as thin as the iPad, running real PC hardware. The Samsung Series.
The Samsung Series 7.
Yeah.
It looks like that, but with two controllers stuck to the side of it that you grip.
It looks like the PS3, the Move Nav controller.
Does it look like the Wii U tablet?
No, they stick out from the side almost like handles.
Okay.
With
they are handles.
They are handles with two thumbsticks
and four
buttons
in a diamond,
and then also two trigger buttons.
Yeah.
And that can replace in some games.
In most games these days,
like the gamepad games, a gamepad basically.
But you can play like StarCraft on it.
You cannot play. You can't.
No way you're gonna. Well, you might be able to play single player.
Or WoW, or really any of them.
No, they say you can play WoW.
Really?
So he talked about the Old Republic, and he talked at length about the challenges of mapping, right? Because obviously a big problem with that Hydra.
I would think that they learned lessons from the Hydra that apply to this.
The Hydra had similar thing where you held a control that was like the nunchuck with a thumbstick and trigger buttons.
Yeah.
How do you map that to a PC game, right? So, for example, one thumbstick would pan, or look would be your WASD, and one would be your mouse look kind of thing.
Right, I get how you can kind of replicate it.
Yeah, right.
But my question is this tablet streaming from your PC, or is it actually the guts of the PC?
The guts of the PC are inside.
It's a.
How can that possibly have any real power?
Well, because PC hardware is getting much better.
Yeah.
So just like the Samsung,
we were just talking the other day about how ultrabooks are not really viable for gaming. So how could this be?
So this has discrete graphics.
Discrete graphics.
So they're putting what appears to be a Sandy Bridge CPU. Probably by the time this comes out, it'll be an Ivy Bridge with, I would guess, probably a mid high range.
I would
probably
say
not
just because of power.
Well, I think it's got to be pretty low because it's only a 1280 by 800 display, so it's not a massive high resolution display.
Right.
It's about this big.
Yeah.
It's about the size of a trade paperback comic book.
And does it do? I mean, like.
It'll have SSD. It'll run Windows.
Well, that's what I mean. He's going to have to, right?
Yeah.
I need Steam.
It's running Windows 7.
I need to go get my patches and stuff.
So what it has is Windows, and you basically get your games not from Razer, but where you normally get your games.
Right.
So Steam, they're not asking you to buy games twice. It's not a whole new gaming, store platform, right? Like OnLive. So you have your Steam games, and what they do is they have their overlay, their interface, which taps into Steam library, your Origin library, and launches the games with the macro, the mapping.
Yeah. So on a game that supports Xbox games for Windows Live and has appropriate gamepad support, it's just going to work right.
Yeah, it's just going to work with the gamepad.
It's only for games like WoW and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3
or Company of Heroes. Like we're talking about RTSs that would need weird mapping, and that's where I am the most skeptical.
Okay, so let me agree with you. I think that there's not a chance in hell you're able to play RTSs. I mean, maybe some single player stuff at the low level.
If I had to train my brain and learn to play an RTS kind of well
it's a touchscreen
on this device. I mean, and regardless of using a combination of touchscreen and gamepad controls, that mental effort is better spent getting better at the RTS on the real computer.
This is for two-stick games. This is for third-person games and first-person shooters.
So where you will find it interesting is that you can play a game like Space Marine, like where it's going to be much better graphics than you'd find on a PS Vita, and a more full game experience on your lap, and better experience than you get on the iPad, where you don't have physical controls on your lap,
or those games, because those versions of those games that come out on the iPad are usually not the same game.
No,
it's
third-person shooter game. Like those the modern combat shooters on Androids. Like, those are terrible.
They're really bad.
Right, Infinity Blade does it right because it doesn't try to be those games. Yeah. And if you want a game where you can have third-person crazy action,
Infinity Blade is a fighting game, not a.
But if you want to have an Arkham City type experience on your lap, you can do that now.
Right.
So, 1280
I have 30 minutes remaining. By the way.
Okay, we will power through. 1280 by 800. We're almost done. Anyway, $1,000 is the price they're targeting for this, or $1,200. I can't remember.
$1,000.
$1,000.
Yeah. Which they know that they have to price it. In my head, I'm like, wow, that's actually not bad for
for a gaming PC, gaming laptop.
Gaming laptop, exactly. But they're comparing, and they're calling it tablet first.
Yeah.
And they know tablets are like $500 to $600.
I mean, realistically, it's probably not something I'm going to buy. But with the way Steam Cloud works and the way a lot of games just live essentially, all your save stuff is on a server someplace, especially MMOs. Yeah. If I was traveling a ton still, and I still like playing a lot of PC games, I could totally see taking this with me so I can keep playing my games on the go.
3 things worry me. One is that I don't think it's going to matter for some of the games I like Battlefield. I don't think it might not be.
You're not going to play multiplayer games on this.
I'm not going to play this is a fast action. Game. First-person shooter, it's not going to work well for that. It's going to be a third-person action single-player game.
Absolutely.
2, consistency of experience. I know it's not final hardware right now, but because with a standardized piece of hardware like PlayStation Vita, like a console, right, you're going to get the same experience regardless of the game. With PCs, with varying hardware, if you want to max out your graphics, you're going to get a crappy experience on, a notebook, basically.
Also, it seems like it'd be kind of weird to be like playing a game at home with a mouse and keyboard or whatever, or your regular controller, and then pick it up and have to suddenly be playing the same game a different way.
So the controller, was clearly a prototype. It felt like it was put together. The sticks were very loose. The controls were very twitchy and highly sensitive. There's a lot of work to be done. I think it has real potential.
And 3, the battery life right now is about 2 hours.
Okay. I don't. Yeah. This isn't. Just to be clear, I don't think this is a device that you expect to go 10 hours on, ever.
Yeah, because it's not a desktop replacement, not a laptop replacement.
Right. It's a completely different thing.
It might be a Windows 8 tablet replacement for some people, right?
Possible.
As opposed to buying a Windows 8 tablet as a tablet and having a PC, they would buy this as their Windows 8 tablet to play games on.
Right.
It is the 4th device.
All right.
Yeah, the fourth screen. I think that's it on the list of stuff. Let me make sure we didn't forget anything. I'm going to look here again. We didn't talk about the Tesla.
Oh, come on. That's the most fun thing.
That's the last thing.
I did see a picture of the Tesla coil.
And we'll do
not the Tesla coil.
Oh, the vehicle?
Tesla Model S.
Oh, the
My
S?
dream car.
Oh, what a beautiful car that is.
Before we push on, Gary, you okay missing out on the best of, worst ofs?
We can do best of, worst of.
Well, we're going to do that.
Half an hour.
Okay.
We'll do it before fake outtakes.
Well, then go. Go fast with Tesla.
I sat in the Tesla and got to use their interface.
Yeah.
Which is
Tegra 3 powered. Tegra 2 powered.
There are 2 Tegra 2 chips, but NVIDIA's and NVIDIA booth. First of all, that car is beautiful.
Of course it is.
It's really pretty.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, really nice.
And the handles, the way they design the handles, they pop out because they're aerodynamic. They don't.
We couldn't figure out how to work them.
Like if you walk and there's the key fob in your pocket, and it recognizes that you're close. The handles will pop out so you can pull. It's a feature car.
I gotta get one.
The funny thing is, so it's Tesla's 5-seater because the Roadster is a 2-seater. It's a sedan, right? You have 2 front seats, 3 back seats, and then the trunk you can buy an accessory for 2 people to sit in the back facing out away. Oh. It's but those are like the crappy seats.
Yeah.
It's the way back in a station wagon.
Do you remember the station wagons
or the bitch
seat? That would suck so much if your friend bought a Tesla. And you had to sit in the bitch seat in the trunk, basically.
The only car that has more awesome seats.
No.
I don't know if you ever saw the McLaren F1.
Yeah.
But it was a 3-seater where you had 2 passengers in the back, and the driver sat in the center.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
So the special thing about this, and the way it relates to technology,
the reason it was, first off, it's full of tech. I was talking to the guy outside.
Yeah, it's definitely...
It's a technology car.
Yes, exactly. They've hired people from Apple, from Microsoft, from
I love it. I want one.
Yeah.
How much and when can I get one?
$55,000 available
2014.
for reserve now.
No, you had to reserve years ago.
$55,000 after the $7,000 rebate, but that's only for the smallest battery.
Well, that's the thing. You got to have the maxed out battery.
You want at least the mid.
And how much is that? How much is that?
That's another $10,000.
Yeah, it might be worth it though.
Hey, if you want an 8K poker hand,
If you ever have anxiety about like if you bought your iPod with enough storage, imagine this is like 10 million times that problem.
But you can pay to upgrade later, I believe.
Oh, you can upgrade it
because he said that basically every 15,000 miles you bring it in, they disassemble the electronic motor part, make sure everything's still okay, make sure it's not leaking power or anything like that, and then put it back together. So I'm sure at that point, if you want to shell out another 10 grand,
being an early adopter on that car is the pimpest thing you can do.
Oh yeah, you got to get one.
Year.
That is. Well, yeah, my uncle.
It's a 1%.
My second cousin has one of the Roadsters.
A December to remember.
Yeah, it's if he said that they're reserved through 2014 at this point, assuming the production goes as planned.
Can't wait that long.
So yeah,
you can lease one.
It was pretty rad. So describe the UI.
There are a couple of things that were interesting in the car. First, it's 3G, so they're going to pair. They're going to partner with a carrier, whether it's LTE. Or
so
3G.
it's always on internet. In the car.
So the map actually, unlike GPS systems in maps where they're like on CDs or something or on a hard drive, it's all streamed in real time. I didn't find it that fast.
That's
but also,
a bad idea.
Yeah, I think it's a bad idea
It
too.
doesn't sound great. What if you get bad signal?
Exactly. That you don't have your GPS.
Yeah, if you're driving in Oregon, you got no map.
Exactly. I didn't think that was the best idea. Another bad idea in their UI, which is kind of like a Linux-based UI. Obviously we don't know whether it's how stable it is, and stability is going to be #1 priority for that because you don't want your dashboard to crash.
It has
like blue screen of death. It will be like the blue screen of death, right?
That can't be. Like
that could actually be a blue screen.
Yeah,
of death.
exactly.
Yeah.
One of the tabs they have, so your music tab, your climate tab, your energy usage tab. One of the tabs is a web browser tab.
Okay.
In the center console?
In the center 17-inch
Okay, so
console.
hold on. Explain this, though.
God.
Because there's a screen behind the steering column.
Which is your typical dash, like a digital dash.
But it's all digital.
All digital.
It's all glass.
Yes, which like some fancy cars do have that, right?
I've never seen an all glass. I've seen screens
Supercars
inside circles and stuff. Supercars, yes.
Yeah.
And then the center console, like where your radio and your air conditioning and all that stuff would be, is like a 24-inch flat
It's a
panel.
17-inch flat panel.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures. It looks amazing.
And it's a reflective screen, so it's shiny as hell.
Yeah.
Right now,
Great.
it's
That's
not
gonna be awesome in a
capacitive.
car.
Not gonna. I asked them why they did that. They said they think the glare reduction is good enough in that technology.
Okay.
It's just. I think they want a shiny. I think they tried the matte ones
and
so they want to make it look as shiny as possible. Yeah, I get it.
It's gonna be capacitive right now. It's IR.
Can you imagine putting a skin, like a protective skin, over a 17-inch LCD?
I know.
Like with a giant squeegee, so you can
those
put the matte
tag
finish
people,
on it.
right? The Zag people who sell like the screen protectors.
InvisiShield Tesla S.
Tesla, right? Scratch your car keys on your new car.
Oh my god.
So the UI, right? You have music. There's a web browser tab. So
that's such a bad idea.
because it has 3G.
Aren't there laws against what
and I
you're allowed
asked them,
to?
and I'm like, in my car, if I'm driving, I can't change navigation.
I don't think that's a law. I think that's a liability thing.
It's like I have to click. First of all, I have to click the OK. I accept the liability thing in the car, and also when I'm driving, I can't change my direction. I have to hit the brake or park and then change that.
Right.
I asked them, can the driver or passenger activate this? Like, yeah, they can, absolutely. I'm like, isn't there a law against that? No, there's no law. If regulation comes, we'll think about it.
Okay.
So I'm like, awesome. I can have my Twitter feed.
But aren't we going to see like a whole bunch of like people crashing their car because they're streaming Netflix in their car while driving?
Right.
Okay.
Well, no, it's ARM, it's Tigris, so there's no flash. In this, so don't worry about Netflix. No Silverlight. But my Twitter feed can run on my dashboard.
Such a bad idea.
17-inch screen.
Such a bad
while
idea.
I'm driving, and you get the pop-up keyboard.
Like, check out this awesome picture of a cat in a drain pipe or something. You're like,
retweet crash.
Straight off a cliff.
$60,000 car.
That girl the PR lady did not blink. She said, "Yeah, no problem. Passenger can just do it."
The best thing
we hope they'll be responsible.
My favorite thing about Tesla is that the whole company is just like a bunch of fucking computer nerds who are like, oh yeah, fuck it, we can make a car.
Yeah.
Why not? So instead of having all the terrible ideas and all the ways that they fucked up the user experience in every other car made in the last 40 years, they're just fucking crazy.
All the companies and experts that actually make cars for a living that know by now the kind of shit that is not appropriate to put in a car.
Toyota's laughing their asses off because
they're gonna be like, there's gotta be. I bet they have a running pool at Toyota. It's like, how long until somebody augers a Tesla S in?
You could type the headline for that story right now.
We should have it ready to go.
Well, you know how after every supercar comes out, someone fucking wraps one around a lamppost. That is going to happen, and it's going to be like they were browsing.
And then the Twitter message, they're going to tweet from the car as the car's exploding. It's going to be like, oh shit, I crashed my Tesla S, LOL.
Yeah, I think that's not sensible.
Oh my god. Such a bad idea, Jeans.
But they will say that they're being sensible that they'll let you play music but not video in the car. So no TV
so
playback.
A little sanity prevails.
All right, what else?
So there will be apps built into it. That's kind of cool. They're opening up.
Do you
their
want
SDK.
apps in your car, Gary?
I didn't think I did. But they're going to open up their SDK. So imagine instead of having to load the Yelp webpage, it's a Yelp integration with their GPS. So you can talk to the, find me the nearest restaurant. Because that stuff sucks on GPS right now.
Oh, yeah. It's always bad.
Find me Thai place. It's their built-in database. It sucks. If I had a Yelp app that's perfectly designed for the car.
All that needs voice.
There's a whole bunch of apps that would be appropriate for cars.
This screams voice.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, you definitely
gotta have voice control for all this stuff.
This is why I think if Apple eventually did something like that for the car, that it would be awesome.
So you're saying
car UIs
iCar is the new iTV?
Or the UI, at least.
Well, I know. You partner up with like a BMW or something.
It was like Ford with Sync in Microsoft.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So that's it. I think that's everything we saw today.
That was super hot. Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Let's real quick. Best stuff. I mean, actually no contest for best thing of the show. That 8K TV is
surprise.
Even though it's complete bullshit, it's something we're never going to see for a long time. It is revelatory.
It's a thing that. Like looking at the Retina display, you couldn't imagine what it looked like.
I know, and that's the thing. Is there's no way. Like I was saying, I don't need to go to CES. You can bring stuff back for me to look at, but like that cannot be transported.
Yeah, the
you
pictures
have to be there to see
literally, you have to see it to believe it.
And the pictures that you looked at, did it look like you were actually there taking a picture when you took pictures of that panel, or no?
I have pictures of that panel from my camera, and so I'll upload this to the website.
Okay,
so
and do them full res. Put them on that.
Of course.
I want to see that for sure.
It is. I think that was astounding. I'm trying to think back to the big stuff from each day.
So like subcategories. We'll talk about like best laptop. I'm gonna say the best laptop I saw.
That Lenovo.
Was Lenovo Yoga.
Yeah, that looked good.
Series 9, honorable mention, definitely there. Slim in the best MacBook Air ripoff category.
I think the Series 9 and that HP Envy 14 Spectre thing are about the same interest to me. They're and again, price-wise, they're not ultrabooks. They're $1,400 laptops, and they're laptops, quote unquote, without compromise to charge premium prices.
I understand. What do you think is the technology most likely to change the world that we saw? Do we see anything world-changing?
In a good way, or world-changing in the way we live and the way we use technology?
I'm just saying something that makes the world a better place.
Either better place?
Yeah, for people or for the world. Doesn't matter.
Technology's not going to make the world a better place. I didn't see anything that would make the world a better place.
You don't think nothing that's going to change your life in a positive way?
Did you say anything? I mean, maybe I'm forgetting.
I was asking you because I couldn't think of anything.
I can't think of anything.
I mean, it sounds like overall kind of an underwhelming show, don't you think?
There was a lot of cool little stuff. There wasn't a whole lot of... Like, I think those glasses, the Loomis glasses that we saw today have the potential...
Let's do winners and losers, okay?
Yeah.
Winners, 8K TV. Lenovo with the
4K
Yoga.
4K TV also.
4K TV also still winner. Nothing.
Scalers.
Yeah. Renewed faith in scalers. Make more again. Renewal in scalar technology.
I talked to the Sharp guy actually outside the 8K TV while you and Drew were looking at it today. He said that there's two things that have happened that have made scalers better since the 480p to 720p transition. It's that one. With more pixels, there's more information there, so you can do a better job blowing them up. The other thing is that the processing power available, even in a relatively inexpensive scaler, has gotten dramatically more advanced in the last 5 years.
I'm going to say losers. I'm going to say Microsoft is a loser at CES.
Hey, let's talk about the Intel-Microsoft feud. Intel's the winner at CES, I think, this year.
Ultrabooks, yeah.
Intel
Ultrabooks, by making the comparison, the Ultrabooks is Centrino, which we all as an unspoken truth.
Yeah.
But promising that kind of push, Ultrabooks now becomes less of a marketing thing and more of a, hey, they're going to make this happen.
And x86 Android, I think putting more capable processors, still remains to be seen whether those can run with battery and all that.
Yeah, so it was funny, walking down Central Hall, Microsoft has a massive booth, Intel has a massive booth.
They face each other.
Facing each other with this narrow lane between them, and right on the Intel side, you have x86 running Android, because Android typically runs ARM, and then on the Microsoft side, you have Windows running ARM.
So there's some shit going. They're throwing some shit across the aisles.
It's like they're playing chicken.
Yeah,
they're playing chicken. Who will you want better support? Yeah, who will blink first? Absolutely. I think Microsoft's a loser, not because their products weren't good, but because they didn't show anything that we didn't already see before.
Right.
The Lumia 900 looks like a really
we knew it was coming.
We knew it was coming. So sorry, the surprise was ruined. And we were excited to actually test that out.
Yeah.
But from a Windows 8 standpoint, and a Windows 7 awareness standpoint, like Windows 7.
Yeah, I think Windows 7 is a big winner here.
No, I think
just in general.
In general, but for CES, I didn't hear people walking out saying Windows 7,
Windows Phone 7.
Yeah. Like it wasn't the push that they needed to kick off 2012, right? If this year was going to be year Windows 8 and Windows Phone 7, what Microsoft did at CES, largely because they're not going to be there next year, they don't care anymore.
Yeah,
kind of phoned it in, did not set that tone.
I have to say it was a little disappointing we didn't find out more about roadmap for Windows Phone 7. I assume that's going to happen at CTIA or possibly.
Right, there are plenty of
later this year.
Mobile phone events to do that.
I think a big loser this year is just TVs in general. The app TVs across the board, with the exception of that Lenovo one, which is China only and doesn't count, were shit.
Well, I would say in terms of TV technology, losers are 3D and apps, winners image quality. A renewal focus on image quality.
Yeah, but those, realistically speaking, nobody's buying a 4K TV this year. 8K TVs are 5 or 10 years off easy.
OLEDs were pushed out this year.
OLEDs and LCOS both.
OLEDs are the new. Remember thin LCDs when we were doing TV Quests and LCDs were front and center, right? OLEDs are those now. Out of our price range, $10,000.
Right.
But people are excited. Like I think Wes said and Matt tweeted this. There is no viewing angle. Like it
looks great from any
angle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
By the time Wes and Matt are looking at buying 60-inch TVs, OLEDs will be the TVs
exactly,
they
which
buy.
is good. It's exciting. I would say big loser. Google, big loser.
Oh, yeah?
Google was barely present. I mean, there were a ton of Android tablets. All of them
Google
were shit.
proper was barely present.
Yeah.
But the companies that represent Google, use Google services and products, Android, Google TV, underwhelming. And missed opportunity for ice cream sandwich.
The thing you said last night was ever so true. Yeah. The Google hardware, the Android hardware looks better than the iPad across the board.
Yep.
Like the industrial design is really good. The form factors are really nice. They're small. They're light. Yeah. They're as many shapes and sizes as you can imagine. So there is literally something out there for everyone. Google has got to get the software right. They've got to fix the market,
and they've got to lay down the law. When they said Android Update Alliance or whatever, right? They need to actually make that happen. That's dead, right?
Because coming to CES with dozens and dozens of honeycomb tablets, not acceptable.
Yeah, it sucks for a company like Toshiba and Samsung.
They're going to bail and hit Windows 8 tablets. That's the thing that's going to happen.
Well, they'll hedge.
This year we're going to see everybody that's making Android tablets, I think for the most part, jump into Windows 8 ARM tablets at $500 when Windows 8 comes out in the fall.
All right.
Other high notes.
I think that's it. That's CES. And
augmented reality. Cool. Not a whole lot of robots this year.
Not a lot of augmented reality or robots.
Well, the augmented reality we saw was really, really good.
But display technology, yes, but applications, no.
That's true.
Not much robots, not much like fancy, exoskeletons.
OtterBox. I mean, props to those guys for sustaining the hammer hits. If you haven't watched that video, you should watch it. It's terrifying.
Oh yeah, that's my number one on my list of videos to watch.
Yeah, it's
a quick clip in our recap, but
it's just
the hammer hits.
Bring in the hammer.
My scrotum rises. God damn it! Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made.
Wow.
The gift that just keeps on giving.
So that'll do it for us. Anything, Gary, for you? What were your highlights of CES?
Well, I didn't go to CES, so I don't really have.
What were your highlights for this week in Vegas?
Just overall, I would say certainly. This is I thought about this today, and I arrived at the conclusion that I think this is the best Vegas trip I've ever had.
It's kind of like a movie.
It's the most enjoyable, most salubrious.
This is a buddy movie, and it happened exactly as we predicted in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Will and I went to CES. The guys, Matt, Wes, Joey, Thomas, Drew, we all went to CES, and we got some great content out of there. We saw some amazing technology, a lot of stuff to talk about, and we did the work and better than last year, right? And then
we took the lessons learned last year, made it better.
Yep. And then you had the best Vegas time.
Yeah.
We all got everything we wanted out of CES, and we kind of met in the middle.
It's like anything, the more you do something, the better you get at it. Vegas as we grow and evolve, the way that I come to Vegas has also grown and evolved. When I came here as a young man, it's amateur hour, like all
stumbling
the rest.
drunkard.
And they're all still out there.
Yeah.
And I've got
they're in here.
I can tell you a couple of stories.
Did you get Matt drunk last night?
I don't think he was drunk.
Okay.
I used to come here to drink, and get drunk and do all those kind of things. I don't do that anymore.
This is a bad town to drink. This is what I realized as I got older.
It's one of the worst.
There's too much weird shit. There's too many people fucking with you constantly.
Yeah.
Well, the people in the street are way more aggressive.
Every single day that I've been here, I've got at least one story about a run-in with some kind of douchebag drunk dude.
Which is why you never want to be on.
Couldn't hold his liquor and was just a complete asshole.
And you used to think, you stay on the main strip on Las Vegas Boulevard because if you go 1 block away, it's dark, there are no lights, and you'll get mugged. Even if you walk on the strip like at 1 or 2 a.m. and there are people around. There are aggressive people out there. I mean, people used to slap those cards and try to give you stuff. Now you have every 10 feet, a guy's going to ask you if you want to go to a strip club. There's a free limo.
Right. Or do you want to go to a club? You want to go to a party?
Who the fuck gets in a free limo on the strip? For a strip? That's a way to get your organs harvested.
Yep. And they'll say, you want titties in your face? Titties in your face?
Well, I mean, who doesn't want titties in their face?
Dude, I'm okay right now.
I'm okay with that one. I mean, I put that one up there right fucking now.
Literally, 5 of us walking down.
Is that actually what they say? I haven't heard that one.
Trying to cross the street to get to a casino, to the Flamingo.
Oh my goodness.
And the dude goes, titty in your face? Titty in your face? And 2 dudes said the same thing, so they're trained to say that. That's
that's so good.
Do you think there's a class for the card popper guys?
It's gotta be. And they look like, they don't
The thing that amazes me, the fact those card flickers and all those guys that are on the street, they're still there year after year, so there's got to be a certain amount of uptake.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this Nigerian scam.
Well, they get
for Vegas.
It's just sad.
Yeah. The question I have is, A, why doesn't Vegas get rid of that? Because it's fucking annoying.
I would. If I was like the mayor of Las Vegas, I would
First thing
pass some kind of ordinance that get those people off the street.
The other thing I wonder is if somewhere there's like
there's got to be
one.
More corrupt than the mayor of Chicago. I mean, come on. The mayor of Las Vegas.
The other thing I wonder...
That's Saints Row. Right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is as close as we're going to ever get to a real-life steel port.
Oh, my God. The other thing I wonder is if there's old card flippers sitting around talking about, man, I remember how it used to be. These guys are too aggressive. Good old days, blah, 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 blah.
The carpal tunnel, it stopped.
Yeah.
So this was definitely my best Vegas trip because, again, you work the bugs out of the system with each trip. I don't drink anymore. Again, there are different Vegases. For me, it used to be about... drinking and partying and doing all that and gambling. Yeah. The gambling is still a part of it, obviously. Yeah. But now I come here to eat fantastic food and go to the spa and relax and go to nice surroundings and meet friends. And this week hit all of those marks perfectly. Oh, the problem is the people that are still on I've got the training wheels on. Yeah. The Ed Hardy douchebags. The Jersey Shore rejects that are all over this fucking town. Yeah. My friend John and I were playing at the Venetian last night, playing blackjack, and we were playing pretty late. And they're pouring out every one of these hotel casino resorts has its own nightclub. Yeah. And so like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, we're playing pretty late. All these guys are pouring out there in their Ed Hardy shirts and staggering, in high heels and staggering over with their novelty drinks. And they're quiffed up here and they're like, yeah, and they're just a horrible mess. Yeah. And they're all, me and my friend John. My attitude is the blackjack dealers and the waitresses and everyone who works in Las Vegas has to put up with so many fucking assholes day in, day out that I always try to be nice and polite. And trust me, if you are nice and polite, it's such a relief that they will take care of you in return.
It's payback in
Absolutely.
spades.
It's such a relief that they get to deal with someone who's like sober and nice and polite.
But grown up.
Absolutely. So John and I were playing Cards of Venetian last night, and all the Ed Hardy guys are all over the place. And we had a very cool... It's always good to be friendly and chat with the pit boss. They've always got stories to tell, and they're usually cool guys. We had this like Eastern European guy called Yuroslav, who was like the kind of Nico Bellic of, But
he was the pit boss?
He was a pit boss.
His name's Yuroslav?
Yuroslav.
Is that a real name?
Go over to the Venetian. He's a cool dude.
Yuroslav.
Yuroslav. And
it's like a fake generic. Yuroslav. That's got to be a fake name.
Yeah, it's somewhere between Transylvania and Romania.
And the best part is he had a great answer for everything. My friend John said, Yuroslav, what kind of name is that? And he said, it's Slavic. That's just a great answer.
No shit.
I said to him, all these like guys with their big novelty drinks with their big straws, and they're tripping over and shouting and making a mess.
What kind of fucking pussy carries an enormous ass bulbous drink?
I'm telling you, it's fucking amateur hour. Right.
Bourbon. You drink bourbon in Las Vegas. Maybe vodka if you don't like brown stuff.
These people don't know how to do it right. So anyway, they're staggering around and making a noise and just embarrassing themselves and making everyone around them uncomfortable.
You know what the problem is? They grew up after Frank Sinatra died.
Well,
they don't know how to behave.
Casino. At the end of Casino, it shows.
I think it's a wider societal problem than that. But yes, it's definitely the Sinatra factor is gone. Yeah. And I said to this guy, the pit boss, I said to Yuroslav, my new buddy, I said, you know, I hate, because we were talking about this, and I said, you know, as much as I complain about these guys, I only have to deal with them for 1 week out of the year. I said, you must hate it
every day.
Every day you must put up with these guys. And he kind of leant over the table, and you know, just all of his memories, experiences come back. And he's the most diplomatic, most understated thing I've ever heard anyone say. He said, unfortunately, not all of our guests are 5 Diamond guests.
Oh, wow.
I was like, boy, brother, you said a mouthful.
Well, but what he's got to be thinking is, most of these motherfuckers come to Vegas and get cleaned out, because the worst thing you do is go
that's
gambling.
The thing. It's like, oh yeah, we'll take all your money.
Right.
You know, I mean, you may be a douchebag, but your money is as good as the next guy's.
Douche it up, man, but go home empty.
Hey, I'll take your money if you're a nice guy too.
But again,
That's
just to
true.
recap, so I won money, and I'm done with gambling. I will not be gambling tonight.
So
I'm
no face slap.
I'm coloured out.
Okay, no.
Coloured out, cashiered out.
Okay.
Because
not pushing through.
I was looking at all the checkpoints that I wanted to hit to make this a good trip. And I want to be able to say this is one of my best Vegas trips. I cannot legitimately say that if I lost money.
Walk away.
So, and last year, if you remember, we were doing great until the last night, and then I went on tilt and lost a lot of money.
See, you learn lessons too.
So this, again, each year you do it a little bit better. So this year, I'm fully cashed out. I've won enough money to go and have a very nice dinner this evening.
Okay.
And it's basically paid for my room and my stay, so everything feels good. I ate some fantastic food. Let's just recap. I've got one more place to tell you about as well.
Okay.
So Lotus of Siam was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Julian Serrano at the Aria, where I'm going back there again for dinner before I leave, is incredible. Where else did we go? Oh my God! Just everything. The canapes at the Mandarin Oriental were fantastic. Even Planet Dailies down here.
Oh yeah,
incredible. I had a fillet there this morning because it was all comp. So that fuck, I'm having the fillet.
Oh yeah,
with sautéed spinach and pan gravy with a cilantro salad. Oh, it was just incredible.
Did you go to Bouchon? Did you get to Bouchon for breakfast?
No, because I can't really eat that stuff.
Oh, it's all carby. Yeah.
But there's so many. I really want to do the leaving Las Vegas thing, where instead of you drink yourself to death, you just eat yourself to death. I said this is the plan: is pick the top 1,000 restaurants in Las Vegas.
1,000?
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Go to a different place every day for a year.
If I got a 3 months to live diagnosis, I'm pretty sure
that's how I'm going out.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how I'm going out.
And then, of course, what if you're like, oh, well, it turns out misdiagnosis, and now you're 400 pounds.
So there's one other place. So I was sitting at a blackjack table today at the Cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
And I was sitting next to a guy from New York City.
You really travel around a lot when you're in
I
Vegas.
like to go to different places. You know,
Change of scenery.
You see a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Went to the Encore last night. Beautiful.
It's lovely. We stayed there earlier this year. It's a fantastic hotel.
Crazy. So I was playing at the Cosmopolitan, one of my favorite places, and I was playing there this afternoon. Sitting at the table, a guy from Queens.
Yes.
But he also lived in Manhattan for many years.
Okay.
And I said to him, where do you go in New York for a good slice? Because they know, right?
Yeah,
they have, and they've always got their recommendations.
Something about coal fire.
And you never know when I might be back in New York sometime, in the future, and I'd like to, you want to go get a good New York slice.
Of course.
And he said, well, I can tell you a couple of places, but the reality is you don't have to go to New York. You just have to go right upstairs. There's a place upstairs here at the Cosmopolitan that does one of the best hole-in-the-wall bite-of-slice pizza places you'll ever go to. And it's like a secret level.
Is it open now?
It doesn't, yes. It doesn't,
13 and a half?
It doesn't have a name. The staff just call it the hiding place. It has no name. It's completely invisible. It's where all the fancy restaurants are. The Cosmopolitan has some amazing high-class restaurants.
Big-time restaurants.
Buried in between two of these restaurants with no name. It just looks like an alley that goes down to like nowhere.
Yeah.
You go down this little hallway, this little narrow corridor, and you're in an old school New York pizza place with a Gallagher machine and pizza by the slice.
I know where I'm going for dinner tonight. It's done.
And I had a big one of the, and they give it to you on a floppy plate, and you've got to fold up the pizza. I had a meatball and pepperoni slice.
Fuck off!
It was off the fucking chain. It was one of the best slices of pizza I've had in my life.
Done.
All the places said it. So the guy from New York was there, and I was talking, and then the pit boss came over, and he said, "What are you guys talking about?" He said, "He's talking about this place, the pizza." He goes, "Oh yeah, we all know about. That's where we go. We call it the hiding place because no one knows about it."
Oh yeah,
it's fucking sweet.
It's, the beautiful part about that is that having to find it makes the food
taste
so much better.
Well, that's why I'm not telling you exactly where it is. I'm leaving it for you to find. That's part of the event. That will be part of the adventure.
We might have to text you if there's problems, but
you'll find it. I mean, if you get really stuck, ask someone who works there for the hiding place.
Okay, someone has already posted a link to it in chat.
There you go.
Perfect. That'll wrap it up for us this year. CES 2012. Oh. Again, Thomas, Joey, Drew, unbelievable work all week long. Matt and Wes and Norm, as always. I mean, you guys fucking kick ass.
Yeah, this is amazing.
This has been, I mean, literally.
Joey looks fucking exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's real strung out. I'm not looking forward to the drive home tomorrow. That's going to be kind of grim, but
but I want to say this is the last part of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Is remember last time the push through? Obviously I've completely come down off that. That was
good.
Okay,
good.
I'm so glad.
I had a little.
My hand was ready.
I was having a minor aneurysm there when I was saying, "No, we can do it. We can do it." Here's my plan for the rest of the evening. I have a nice dinner with a friend of mine.
Yep.
I am going to go back to my room.
Yep.
Have one last hot tub.
I think I'm going to do the same.
And I'm going to go to bed at a reasonable hour.
Yep.
I'm already packed. Everything's ready to go.
All right.
Yep.
And I'm going to check out in the morning, meet you guys.
Fantastic.
I don't know if there's time for Planet Dailies maybe before we leave or not.
It's 5 a.m. We're leaving
It's
at
open
5
24
a.m.
hours.
Well, I'm saying if you guys want to go have breakfast at 5 a.m., we can.
Well, I'm
do
leaving.
it.
I'm ready to leave whenever you're ready to leave.
If you want to
It's
go,
on your schedule.
if
Will
nobody
is
else
not-
wants to have breakfast,
Will-
I'll go have breakfast with you because I need to wake
Here's
up.
the thing. I would like to go to Planet Dailies, and I think I have enough left comped that we
you
can
can
get
juice.
for free.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Will
So
has not had the.
I haven't had the fried chicken.
you have to have
no.
the fried
You
chicken
haven't
sandwich.
had.
Oh, never had the French toast.
Exactly.
No, we can't
There
go
we
without
go.
the French
Okay.
toast.
So you and I, if nobody else,
I don't think they serve breakfast till 6.
6.
Oh, you fucking kidding?
Yeah, they don't serve that until 6.
Yeah, but you know what? They know me.
You think
hook
you
me-
got
they'll
juice?
They'll hook us up. I'll pack to it. Don't worry.
Okay. It's been an amazing
Vegas
show.
scary.
Yeah.
I mean,
and upright. So even the journey. I don't want it to be like even the journey back is part of the trip, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the car like
Yeah, no.
Let's have it be as nice going back as it was coming out.
Exactly.
All
That's
right,
my
the
feeling
trick.
as well. Literally, I thought after last year that we couldn't put together a team of people that was as amazing and could do as much good stuff as we did this week.
I'll give them a round of
last
applause.
week, and this was really
done.
amazing. So good job, guys. Thank you guys all for watching. I know we put up a ton of stuff. Try to catch up. There's high points. I haven't tweeted anything in like 3 days. I don't think. We'll definitely point you at the good stuff, and actually, it's all good stuff. What the fuck am I talking about?
And I think next week when you do your first regular podcast back at Whiskey Media, you'll have had time to reflect and a little bit of distance and
Little
figure out
distance
what
would be
CS
good.
really was all about.
I am looking forward to sleeping in my bed tomorrow night. Until next week, I'm Will, Norm, Gary. For everyone else here, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next Thursday. Bye.
Hi there, I didn't see you.
Test it.